2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Wilson, my bar is pretty high for weirdness. Like, this just feels like a Tuesday for Russell Wilson. It's so funny because he's so straight-laced, but then he has the most bizarre little social media things you'll ever see.
That's what I want to know about Russell's marketing. What's the angle? What's the philosophy we're going for with this guy?
I'm unlimited.
He's got that self-help vibe. You know how Tony Robbins comes off as kind of creepy?
That's the lane he's trying to go in?
That's the lane we're in right now.
Wow. I'm embarrassed for him.
Be careful, though.
Yeah.
It's like Wedding Crashers, and she's like, I'll find you. Remember that?
Yeah.
Be careful, though.
Are we doing serial killer? That's what's going to sell the sandwiches? Because
Spicy.
why? Because it's spicy?
It's spicy.
What a stone cold weirdo that guy is.
Unlimited.
Here are Maggie and Perloff.
Congratulations to the Brooklyn Nets. You managed to go about 4.5 months without someone requesting a trade from your team. This is like death taxes and players on the Nets don't want to play for the Nets anymore. Welcome to the show. So glad to have you. We have plenty of football to get into, but Perloff and I just couldn't stop laughing about this Kyrie Irving trade request that just came in. If you're just hearing about it now, apparently Kyrie and the Nets were trying to figure out a contract extension, which that is laughable too. The team wanted stipulations around it. You could understand why. Kyrie balked at that, and now he wants a trade or else he's going to leave in free agency. Like, that's a big threat. Perloff, I don't know about you, but if I can't get anything for Kyrie Irving if I'm the Nets, then I just call his bluff. And I just tell him, no, we're not trading you. What's he going to do then?
Well, okay, can I ask, so what do you think you could get for him?
I mean,
if you could get something good, then that changes your calculus. But if you're getting nothing in return,
listen,
keep him.
If you can get something good, then it would be smart to trade him.
Right.
Because he's gonna walk at the end of the year. Listen, with all of the stuff that's happened between Kyrie and the Nets and just this Nets franchise over the last year and a half, like, they were headed for a split, I thought, no matter what. So, yeah, if you can get something good, if you can get draft picks and get a player, then I would say try. But if you can't, then I'm just going to tell him, just like I told Kevin Durant, we couldn't find a trade for you. See you Monday.
I don't even know why they offered him an extension because he's been nothing but trouble there. Listen, I'm a Sixers fan, so I want the Nets to be weakened.
Yes.
I don't know if they're a huge threat in the East.
They're
but
fourth
this
in
is
the
good
East
news.
right now.
Yeah.
They've played well-ish. Like, I know they just got blown out by the Celtics the other night.
They beat bad teams. They don't play well against good teams. I scouted the Cavs last night. They're legit. So I just think the East has a bunch of good teams. I can't get out of my mind that the Celtics swept them in the first round. So they don't feel like a real championship threat, but Vegas always lists them at the top. I think there's a fascination with Kyrie. He's unbelievably talented. I don't want him. If I'm the Nets, I don't want him. I don't want him anywhere near my team. Honestly, Maggie, what's the scenario where it works out for him in the Nets?
There is none. I mean,
say they keep him even. It's going to be bad.
Well, the scenario is that they win the title this year.
Yeah.
But, I don't, even for as well as Kyrie's playing and he's going to be a starter in the All-Star game, I mean, he's got a following and a fan base, and there are still obviously millions of people that love Kyrie. And listen, watching him play basketball, he's awesome to watch. But if, be honest, if you were the team, why would you be giving him blank check guarantees with everything that's happened over the last few seasons? You'd be insane to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, where are the Nets now? Because as you started off, Kevin Durant requested a trade this offseason. Ben Simmons has been a spectacular failure that anyone who has ever watched a single Sixers game knew was happening.
Yes.
Nick Claxton's playing well. Is that something to build around? What's the future here?
Well, I think the future was always who wants to play with Durant.
Okay,
but then Durant has always been the focal point of this whole thing, but Durant hasn't played since January 8th. Yeah. And then we find out that he is likely going to come back and play in the All-Star game, which that bothers me. It doesn't bother you.
No.
We'll get into that later. But, I'll tell you, you want to know where the Nets are? Here's just a little TikTok of just the last year and a half, right? Mm-hmm. So you have the Kyrie Irving, obviously the issues with the vaccine where he didn't want to play. He didn't want to get vaccinated, pardon me, and would only play road games. That was a nightmare. Then Harden requested a trade. That was a year ago, basically this week. Then the KD trade, they get swept by the Celtics in the playoffs. The KD trade request comes in. That gets ignored. Remember, he wanted either to be traded or the coach or the GM to be fired. Remember, he didn't care.
I almost forgot about that beauty.
It was either Sean Marks or Steve Nash had to go. They picked Steve Nash. He got fired. Do you remember that the Nets almost hired disgraced coach Ime Udoka from the Celtics, so we still don't even know what he did.
That was this year. I totally remember it. But how did they cram all this in?
I'm not done. Then Kyrie promoted the anti-Semitic movie. That was a hailstorm. He got suspended for 8 games for not disavowing that right away. Then he finally did. And now Kyrie wants a trade request just as the team is basically playing some of the best basketball outside of this week that they have in months.
So is KD want to go with Kyrie?
Now there's a question.
Yeah, is this? Oh, you have to imagine that they're divorced because KD wanted out before Kyrie did. So KD wanted out
around the same time. Yeah.
Well, this summer KD requested a trade, and Kyrie at that point had not requested a trade, right? So he was saying, "I'm willing to leave my buddy."
Yeah, I think this is probably signaling that I don't know how attached at the hip they are anymore, but flip it, put it from the Nets' point of view. Yes, you're playing well now and you have, you're 4th right now in the Eastern Conference, but it's still relatively early in the season. Is this the point where you trade KD? Is this the point where the Nets say, all right, this is over. So let's trade Kyrie, let's trade KD, let's just blow this thing up as spectacularly as we can, get as much as we can in return, and then see where the dust settles.
But what kind of team? You want to trade him for a high draft pick, I imagine. You can't send KD to a bad team, which is probably what happened this summer. So the Lakers and Kyrie is a rumor, right? So you send Kyrie. What would the trade be? You explained it to me earlier.
Russell Westbrook and a 2027 first round pick.
Wow, that's gold.
Yeah.
The Lakers
Listen,
obviously
you can't buy that kind of.
the Lakers obviously can't get together any kind of package for Kevin Durant. So no contender can. He's going to have to go to a bad team. So you can't just trade. I think you're running the same problem. He's not going to go to a tanking team. He's not going to Houston. So what are you really getting in value for Kevin Durant? I think you're stuck with him too.
Well, that's what happened over the summer, but they said, we couldn't find a trade that was commensurate with KD's talent. And remember the Rudy Gobert trade kind of threw everything in flux because the Timberwolves got so fleeced by Utah that it was hard for the Durant market to sort of materialize. And then now you would have fewer teams that would be in the bidding. You'd think in the summer is when everybody might be in on it. Now, I don't know. Listen, remember the rumor was Boston. It was going to be Jaylen Brown and stuff for KD. I don't know if that's still alive. All I know is it's a big fat mess. And the idea to me that anyone is shocked by this is crazy.
But I think this is good for the NBA because they have not gotten a single headline all year. Basically, the whole season revolves around LeBron breaking Kareem's record.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they got. They need to put Kyrie. You know how the NBA would not let Chris Paul go to the Lakers?
Yeah.
They need to exert their influence to get Kyrie to Los Angeles.
A reverse
Chris Paul, because Kyrie in a new home would be, I think it'd be very good for the NBA to add interest. And he'd probably be motivated. He's a free agent. I mean, Kyrie on the Lakers will be a gigantic boost for a league that right now feels very quiet pre-Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know how much the Nets want to help out the league in that way, but
I'm just assuming that it's all a conspiracy and that Silver and his guys can figure this out.
Yeah, Jared Gonzalez is in the chat, says send Kyrie to the Clippers. That would be awesome. Listen,
that'd be good.
You might end up getting a little mini bidding war going here for Kyrie, for teams who want to go for it. I would just say what do you do here if you're the Nets, though? Do you just all of a sudden say, all right, and KD's going to, and we're going to trade him, and he's got 3 years left on his deal, and you know what? We've had to rebuild from nothing before. We'll do it again.
Yes, I think that makes sense, except that you're not going to get anything. You can't say, can you send KD to Detroit or Charlotte or some team that's never going to contend? That feels wrong. I don't know if he would obviously not want to be there. I don't know if he can get a third team involved.
Did he have a list of teams last year? I don't remember if he ever had a list. That's the one detail of the story I don't remember. It's so hard to keep these things straight. Yeah. Yeah. No, I know, especially with Kyrie.
But it is definitely time to start over in Brooklyn. The Ben Simmons.
But ironically, this is they're playing good basketball right now.
Are they?
Well, I know they got blown out the other night, but yes, at one point they won 18 of 20.
They beat all the bad teams, and a lot of it was at home. They that's how the NBA season works. Depends on your schedule.
Yeah.
Are they really a threat to, say, the Celtics or even the Sixers or the Bucks?
Listen, I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think that the Nets are, because here's the thing about the Nets. Even if they're playing well now, are you really going to tell me, while KD has been out since January 8th, that somehow they're going to be healthy enough and drama-free enough to make it not only to the end of the season, but through the playoffs? Get the heck out of here. We've known enough about the Nets. The next thing is just around the corner. Yes, Samter?
I got a reported list. This is from Woj from last year.
Yeah, thank you. I knew there was a list.
Yeah, he was looking at the Lakers, Clippers, Knicks, Heat, Mavs, and Sixers.
Wait, that was Kyrie or KD?
Oh, yeah.
This was Kyrie.
Did KD have a list? Can you check that?
I remember I went on Twitter and tried to convince KD to join the Sixers last summer.
I know, you sell out.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? I would love that. I'd still love that.
Well, listen, maybe that's a possibility. Daryl Morey loves stars. Tyrese Maxey might be on the trade block.
No, for Kevin Durant. I don't want Kyrie. You can't have James
for Durant, I'm saying.
I can't see them. I can't see them pulling
Also, do you have enough money for that? Oh, yeah. Remember, Harden took a discount.
Is there going to be some way that Harden, Westbrook, KD, and James Harden, and all these guys just rotate from team to team and always together in some form or other?
Oh, you got to get Serge Ibaka then back.
Yeah. Yeah. I really don't know. It's hard to take this story seriously, as you know. But it is actually will probably have a big impact on the rest of the season. It
might, but come on. Shame on everybody if we thought that Kyrie was not going to make this about himself for 5 seconds.
No, nobody thought that, Maggie.
Yeah, right. We're not alone here. And it's funny because the news broke and it's just Twitter explodes. I'm like, guys, gals, we've been here before. How did we not see this one coming? This is the most predictable thing Kyrie Irving has done in months. maybe years.
I actually, and I don't know if we have this out, but we were playing Shams Charania on Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
And he goes, this is stunning news and what is the least surprising move of all time. He basically said it was stunning and then it was completely non-surprising. I was like, yeah, sell it, Shams, but come on.
Yes, and stunning news. Kyrie Irving has said something outrageous.
Yeah, did it mean stunning that it didn't happen 2 weeks ago? What was stunning about this?
Yeah, the stunning part to me is that the Nets were willing to engage him at all in a contract extension.
I was surprised by that too, but...
Yeah, but imagine they said the stipulations on it. Can you imagine what those are?
Yes.
Like, this is a fully non-guaranteed contract. It stipulates you must play 90% of the games and not say anything disparaging about any religion.
The stipulation is you vaguely try to show up at the game. Maybe that was a stipulation, which he would never follow.
Listen, he's averaging like 30 points this year, yeah?
So for KD, I know the Suns and the Heat were definitely on his list. But I'm looking through, it looks like the teams that made offers for him were the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, the Raptors, the Celtics, the Heat, the Suns, and the Hawks. So I don't know if all those teams were on his list, but those are the teams that were in on it. The Suns and the Heat were like the two. The Suns were the real, that was like his top choice.
And Devin Booker's about to come back, right?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, listen, you're going to get obviously, this is Captain Obvious here, you're going to get way more for Kevin Durant than you are for Kyrie. First of all, Kyrie's a free agent at the end of the year.
I'd give way more for Kyrie. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure you would.
The other GMs would love you.
Hence why I'm not an NBA GM.
Yeah. I don't know. At this point, do you just say, all right, we're trading KD too? I don't know. 855-212-4.
I like your logic. I mean, the pain is going to come at some point, but I don't think they'll get a package for KD that works.
I mean, they couldn't in the offseason.
Yeah,
it's harder at the deadline now. If you got 6 days to go, just whip up a trade for Kevin Durant.
I mean, Brooklyn to Philadelphia is not far if they want to Daryl Morey get on the phone.
I'm sure Morey's called. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Stu, you don't seem as happy as I thought you'd be.
I'm very conflicted. I don't know what is the worst option between Westbrook and Kyrie Irving. I guess Kyrie Irving would be an upgrade, so I guess I would take him. I don't know about trading 2 first-round picks when you're going to be post-LeBron era. And
I don't think it's 2 first-rounders.
If it's 1 first-rounder and Westbrook, I think I do it.
I saw the 2029 pick is also play. Yeah. That's 10 years from now. What are we doing here? I mean, what do the Nets care about a 2029 first-round pick when the Lakers are going to restock with 1 million free agents?
How many of LeBron's kids are playing in the league by 2029?
I mean, is there any chance in 2027 that the Lakers are going to be a top 5 pick? I guess, but
I mean, yeah, they're going to
reload because of free agency. Everyone wants to be a Laker.
I mean, they had some low years.
Not many.
Kobe, I guess, right?
Did they?
Yeah, they had some low years with Kobe before they traded for
Parker years, guys. We all remember him. Kobe used to talk about it all the time.
Just real quick, also, Woj just tweeted nothing groundbreaking necessarily, but Kyrie has not shared a list of preferred teams, but he has maintained interest in the Lakers. So while there isn't necessarily a list out there, the Lakers seem to be his preferred destination.
Imagine he gets traded to the Lakers. Wait, when do they play the Bucks? Thursday, right?
Thursday,
same day as the trade deadline?
Yes.
He gets he gets traded to the Lakers on the day that LeBron is going to break the scoring title, perhaps, and that Kyrie somehow gets into the headlines with LeBron chasing this I hope amazing record.
LeBron better be close, though, because Kyrie's going to cut into everybody's points there.
Yeah, he better get it over with now. You might just want to go ahead and get that record, because once Kyrie comes,
you might want
you're not
to
getting the ball
gun
back.
against OKC on Tuesday.
855-212-4CBS. Thank you, NBA, for giving us a hearty chuckle. 855-212-4227. Welcome to weigh in on this. Of course, we are across the country on all of our amazing CBS Sports Radio affiliates, of course. We are also streaming live, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Come on in. The chat's already up and running. It's a lot of fun today with the Weedos and the Purple Drinkers. It is a fun, fun Friday. What do I see here in the studio? Might have a little surprise for everybody coming up later in the show.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's back, baby. And I'll give you one hint. If it looks like a duck, and it quacks like a duck. There might be the return of the duck costume today. No promises, but it might happen. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. You're welcome to weigh in on this. Of course, coming up, an incredible moment at last night's skills competition. Don't worry, it had nothing to do with the skills competition.
Oh, the NFL skills yeah. Wow.
An amazing
I watch
moment.
it, and I have no idea what you're talking.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Incredible. 855-212-4CBS. Come in, get aboard, give us a call. All right, we're back in just a moment with the one thing you need to know from last night's NFL skills competition.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
This NFL postseason, every Westwood One NFL broadcast streams live for free, all on the road to Super Bowl 57. Catch all the action on the Odyssey app, on WestwoodOneSports.com, via Westwood One Station Streams, or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. All sponsored by AutoZone. Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Kyrie Irving requesting a trade. Lots of rumors already floating. Maybe the Lakers. I say, Adam Silver, you're the commissioner of the NBA. Make this happen. What else are we going to do? I mean, I love last year's finals with the Warriors Celtics, but we kind of need the Lakers involved in this party, right?
Well, they're going to have a little catching up to do.
Yeah.
But, Anthony Davis, I think, is playing really well. If he stays healthy, maybe. Brian is in Omaha, wants to weigh in on Kyrie. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Hi, Maggie. How you doing?
We're doing excellent. What's on your mind, dude?
Maggie and the dude. How is your wife, Sarah, doing?
My wife? She's wonderful. Why do you ask?
Because she's beautiful. I've seen her on TV. She turned my perspective of you all around.
All right, Brian, let's keep it above board here, buddy. Let's keep it PG.
But, dude, okay.
Thank you, though.
Kyrie, look what he did to Boston. He was going to stay there forever and absolutely just blew it up. Blown it up here in New Jersey. What a diva, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, Brian, we kind of knew Kyrie just marches to the beat of his own drum. Thank you so much for the call, the compliment of Perloff's wife.
Is he the biggest diva in NBA history? I mean, I don't know who the other divas are.
It's funny because he would say that he's just like misunderstood and that, he doesn't think he's a diva. I guess no divas do, right? But yeah, it's rare for the person who's like, yeah, no, I am a diva. But he just thinks he's misunderstood. I'm going to be honest. I was surprised when he was one of the top vote getters for All-Star. Because while we might think that he's a headache and that teams don't want him or, that he's this or that, irresponsible in some ways with the things that he shares on social media. But, fans obviously like him a lot.
Yeah.
To get the votes to be a starter, I mean, that's a significant...
Who'd he beat? Who were the other East?
Well, you had Jalen Brunson here in New York. That always has a nice fan base. You had Harden got snubbed.
Oh, he's
You
so
had
bad,
who else got snubbed in the Eastern Conference?
So what about Donovan Mitchell? Probably.
Yeah, Mitchell made it.
He made, but he's not a starter, is he?
I think he is.
Oh, is he the other starter? That's funny. There are not a lot of high-profile guards. What about I guess Tatum's a forward. Anyway. Yeah. Of course, Kyrie's popular. He's a huge, huge name in NBA history, but that does not change the diva-ness of him, as Brian called him.
There's there's a long list of things with Kyrie that you can point to where you would understand why the Nets would want stipulations if they were going to give him any kind of long-term contract. And the fact of the matter is, I don't know what they were even doing trying to discuss a long-term deal to begin with. This was always headed for a split. Always headed for a split. Now, here's something interesting. Now, the Lakers, do you want to call them the front runners to land Kyrie if a trade is made?
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know, but there's a little smoke around that anyway. We know LeBron and Kyrie, the relationship suffered when Kyrie requested a trade out of Cleveland. But then, Perloff, you remember the story where Kyrie called LeBron and said this leadership was really difficult. And he kind of apologized for, asking out of Cleveland. And I think they mended a lot of fences there.
I think that's right. By the way, the East guards are not great.
What do you got?
Well, it's Kyrie. Mitchell was number 2. Then James Harden, who has not been consistent. Then Jaylen Brown, who hasn't been playing. Then Trae Young. I guess Trae Young would be popular, but then DeMar DeRozan, LaMelo Ball, who's coming off an injury, Halliburton. This is not a strong group. Anyway, so Kyrie's, I would have voted for Kyrie.
Well, it's more about the popularity, though, is the All-Star. It's more of a popularity contest.
Well,
he's playing really well this year.
I mean, look at the West. John Moran is 3rd in the West, behind Steph and Luka.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
De'Aaron Fox got snubbed in the West.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox. That one surprised me. I thought there was a lot of momentum there.
Yeah, but you're going to put him over Steph or Luka. Anyway, it's not about the All-Star game. Anyway, what's interesting about the idea that Kyrie could get traded to the Lakers, it would be right around the time where LeBron James is going to pass Kareem and he's going to break this really amazing record in the NBA. Here was LeBron making a comparison about the record that people did not like.
I think it's one of the greatest records in sports in general. I think it's up there with the home run record, in baseball. It's just one of those records that you just don't ever see or think that will be broken, and then you end up seeing guys, you had Hank Aaron that had it for so long, and you see the guys, the likes of like Sammy and Mark McGwire and those guys, start climbing that. It was like, oh man, this thing can really happen.
Now, Perloff, you had a problem with this.
Yeah, I mean, the home run record is the most important record in team sports. It's totally a different animal. Maybe I'm going back to when I was a kid and it was clean, but now it doesn't matter because of bonds. Yeah. But obviously, there was a movie about Roger Maris passing the single season record. Then Hank Aaron was a historical event. I know, I don't remember at all when Kareem passed Wilt.
Yeah.
And the fact that Karl Malone is second on that list immediately makes me wonder.
Well,
Karl Malone's not. I mean, it's just A, you have to be modern, and B, you have to play a million years. It feels like a compiler record. It's not. I don't think it's a where were you when this record was set kind of thing, where Hank Aaron was running around the bases and, Craig Sager. It was a historical document. Al Downing caught it. I just don't think the NBA records mean as much.
Well, I don't know about the Major League Baseball records, how much they mean anymore.
But historically,
listen,
they do.
We were all into the Aaron Judge, chasing 62.
Yeah, because that's the most famous record in sports. McGwire and Sosa saved baseball with that home run record. Yeah. This is different. I mean, this is a bit of a compiler thing. Karl Malone is number 2 all time.
I know, but Karl Malone was also playing with John Stockton, who at one point was the all-time assist leader, right?
Karl Malone was just.
Of course, he was getting a lot of baskets. Like I'm not going to denigrate Malone for that. They ran the pick and roll till and nobody could stop it for years.
No, right. But for years, baseball was Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth. That is not. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Karl Malone is not Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth. I just don't think it has.
But Kareem's place in the sport is huge.
It's huge. He was great.
And so is LeBron. So I actually kind of get where LeBron's coming from here.
Top of your head, how many home runs did Hank Aaron hit?
760.
755.
Okay, and he beat who? He passed who?
Babe Ruth.
Who had how many?
714.
Okay, how many points did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar score in his career?
It's a bigger number.
It's a big number, dude.
I understand, but there are numbers that we know, and that's not one of them.
Yeah, and I mean,
like, do you even know the front 2 numbers? Forget about the last 3 numbers.
I think it's. I have no idea, but I think it's closer.
30?
No idea. I don't know if it's 30,000, 31,000, 24,000.
You have a computer in front of you.
But that's the thing is, I don't even know the vicinity.
Okay, here's the thing, though. Whether it's the actual number, I think that actually gets put to the back burner. It's the torch passing from one person to the next. And the fact of the matter is we actually have the 2 people alive, and it's not controversial. So, like, when Hank Aaron passes Babe Ruth wasn't alive to pass the torch to Hank Aaron. That was a whole other thing, too, because Hank Aaron was a black man in the South who was breaking this record. Right. I mean, it was massive, more than baseball. And then you had Hank Aaron to Barry Bonds, which was shrouded in controversy, still to this day is shrouded in controversy. No one felt good about it. This, despite the fact that Kareem and LeBron don't have a great relationship, we found out today that Kareem is going to attend the game, right? You just read that to me.
Dave McMahon just reported that.
So Kareem is going to attend the game, which I think is great that they can put aside their differences here, and you get Kareem passing the torch to LeBron. I get it. I feel like it is super significant.
I think it's way closer to an NFL record. Like passing yards. It's much closer to Tom Brady setting whatever record he has than it is to Hank Aaron or something like that, in my opinion. And honestly, like the biggest NBA number probably, we don't know who the leading scorer was last year. Like that stuff nobody cares about.
Scoring title, yeah. I mean,
scoring title.
And actually, LeBron never won a scoring title famously, right? He's gotten this to this point even without ever winning a scoring title.
Yeah, NBA numbers are not sacred like baseball numbers used to be sacred. And they're closer to me. They're closer to the NFL because they've been inflated, and also to if you just play a long time. I think the biggest numbers are Roger Maris. That was historical.
Well, now Aaron Judge.
No, that does nothing for me. That is beyond meaningless to me.
Okay.
Aaron Judge, yeah, I mean, come on. That isn't even in the top 50 baseball records to me.
But he broke Maris's record.
Yeah, but home runs are done. I mean, you had to do it when home runs mattered. But I think there was a reason.
This is like the world according to Perloff.
If Aaron Judge passed Barry Bonds, if he hit 74, we would have cared. We didn't care because this was the AL record.
Way.
100%. Did you see how crazy we got over the AL record of Judge? I mean, there was a Judge watch every day on every show.
Yeah,
they were
breaking into college football games to show people Aaron Judge home runs.
Would you say compared it was as crazy as Sosa McGuire?
No, but that's because we didn't know about PED. So, yes, it has been diminished, but it's still a thing.
I honestly don't think it's a big thing. Will you admit that NFL records don't matter?
NFL records. I mean, listen, Tom Brady just retired, and the 7 Super Bowls is the headline for Brady, of course. But if you go through all the records that Brady owns, I mean, it's pretty impressive. I don't have the numbers memorized. By the way, in the chat, they do have the number memorized. Everyone telling us it's easy. 38,387. 38 with a 7.
So guys who are typing on a computer know the number off the top of their head.
Listen, don't disrespect Nick in Texas like that. It's right at the top of his head.
Got it.
Well, the other thing, too, is it was a long time Brady would pass Brees, then Brees would pass Brady.
Yeah.
So it's just hard with modern numbers. NFL is very much, and they expand the number of games in the NFL. Those numbers don't mean anything.
You don't think LeBron passing Kareem is a big deal?
No.
Oh my gosh,
because
totally disagree.
Number 2.
Who cares who's number 2? This is about number 1.
I think it's a headline, but I don't know. It's not like the chase is on.
No, it's a big deal because when we go back in 15, 20, 30 years and talk about the greatest of all time, and you have the LeBron versus MJ debate, that's going to be part of the conversation. LeBron is the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. So it is a big deal, but for him to compare it to the baseball home run record, that's where people have an issue, right? It's up there with the, like you said, the NFL passing record or Emmitt Smith's rushing record. It's a big deal. People don't know the number. People don't care as much as they do about the home run record, but it is a big deal.
The Emmitt one was a big deal. That was
but I mean, you don't know the number.
Here's the thing,
this is closer to Emmitt. This is similar to Emmitt. That was a big deal, but it wasn't baseball.
Listen, I'm not going to call in the amount of athleticism that you need in both sports. But I'm looking at what LeBron James has done for 20 years. Plus, he's played multiple seasons worth of postseason games alone. Just in the playoffs, he's played full extra seasons. Comparing that to what sluggers can do as they age, and I'm not saying Hank Aaron here specifically because Hank Aaron is an incredible player. I'm not denigrating his legacy at all. I'm just saying you can hang on longer and be a slugger in Major League Baseball than you can play in the NBA without getting completely exposed. Like, I just don't think we're giving LeBron enough credit, and I think he gets tons, and we still don't give him enough for the high level he's playing at 38.
Can I present a counter argument?
Sure.
Carmelo Anthony is number 9 on this all-time list. Done.
Why? Melo had multiple scoring titles.
Yeah, but Melo's not a top 50 NBA player of all time.
Oh, we were doing this. So off the top of my head, can I do the top 5 scoring? The top 5 leaders in scoring in the NBA?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So obviously we got LeBron and Kareem and Kobe and Michael. And I need the 5th one.
Karl Malone.
We just said Karl Malone 3 times.
Malone. I was going to get it. I was getting there, guys.
I hope you're going to get it. You're just talking about how he got all these assists from John Stockton.
No, I was just taking them off in my head. And 6 was Nowitzki? Yeah. And 6 is Nowitzki. And 7 is
Wilt.
Oh, it's Wilt still.
Then Shaq, then Melo, then Moses Malone, Elvin Hayes. Let's see. So KD is at 26,000. He's 14th now. I wonder if he could get in there. I mean, 34, probably not.
He misses a lot of games.
I think you would need a bunch of seasons to get there.
And listen, LeBron is, hell bent on playing with Bronny, so he might put a little distance betwing. Him
he said the other day that he wants to play 4 or 5 more years. Didn't he say? He said
3 more.
3. He said some crazy number to me. Yeah, but good thing, no, it doesn't really matter how long he plays because nobody cares about the all-time leading scorer.
I disagree.
Who's the all-time leading rebounder?
Malone, right?
No, I don't know.
It's got to be Wilt, I think.
I know assists. No, I don't. It's Stockton, right?
Yeah, assists is Stockton. I think it's still Stockton. Yeah, rebounds is Malone, isn't it?
It's Wilt.
Oh, it's Wilt still?
23,924.
And is Carl second?
No, Bill Russell is second.
Oh, wow.
Kareem third.
Kareem third. I was way off. 855-212-4CBS. All right, do you agree with Perloff that LeBron's record should not be compared to the home run record? I think you can compare them.
Yeah,
Why
I think
not?
too. Somebody else should have pointed that out, maybe besides LeBron. I don't know what the question was. I'll give it that's kind of, maybe that someone else say that, but
maybe float that to one of the reporters
he easily could have been answering a question. So I have no idea. I'm not going to rip him for that, but it does feel like, wait, you're saying that it's a home run record?
I listened to the question. It didn't have anything to do with baseball.
Oh.
He brought that up totally on his own. It was just talking about the significance and his legacy in the game, and he went to the baseball. Listen,
oh, man.
It's a big deal.
You know who's a younger player who's chasing him already? DeMar DeRozan is pretty high on this list.
All right,
what if he's going to get in the all-time top 4 players of all time?
We'll see how that
goes. So
goes.
significant.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. So got that on the table for you. LeBron's scoring title, is it the same as when Hank Aaron chased the home run record and then subsequently Bonds? Time for a CBS Sports Update. Here's Rich Ackerman.
Sports Flash.
Well, there's never a dull moment when Kyrie Irving is concerned. The Nets star has reportedly asked the team to deal him before Thursday's trade deadline and that he won't return following this season when his contract is up if he is not dealt. The announcement comes as a surprise, with Irving's camp recently stating a desire to stay long-term, and he has been easily the Nets' best player in Kevin Durant's absence since returning from his suspension earlier in the season. He's been nothing but exemplary and is averaging 27 points a game this year, and also was voted to start in the upcoming All-Star game. The Celtics are coming off one of their most convincing victories of the season, scoring 139 points against the Nets on Wednesday in a game they dominated throughout. They'll host the Suns, who open a road trip after a loss at home in which they were just 4 for 28 from three-point range. The Sixers are red hot and in San Antonio tonight, looking for their 9th win in 10 games, while the Spurs have dropped 15 of 17. And the Wizards attempt their 8th straight win. Their previous attempt put on hold Wednesday when the Pistons were stuck in Dallas, and that game was postponed, but they'll try to extend their streak tonight against the Blazers, while the Pistons eventually made it home and will host the Hornets. The 49ers reportedly interviewing former Panthers interim Steve Wilkes for their defensive coordinator vacancy. I'm Rich Ackerman.
Coming up later on the Zach Gelb Show, it's a Football Friday. Well, without the football, because no one cares about the Pro Bowl. 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
To Ask the Pros, where you can ask us a question. It's brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply check out the link, cbssportsradio.com/askthepros, or tweet your question at CBS Sports Radio using the hashtag AskThePros. Be listening later in the show when we might answer your question. Big breaking news today. Kyrie Irving wants a trade. Does it constitute breaking news if it's the most obvious thing that ever happened in sports? I mean, we still all found out about it today, so I guess it deserves the banner. Breaking news, everyone. 855-212-4CBS. Let's go to our buddy Mark, who's in Miami. Mark, you're a huge NBA fan. What do you think about Kyrie asking for a trade?
Just laughing at the Nets. One of the guys in my office is one of the bosses here is a big Nets fan for some reason, and he's from Manhattan, which makes no sense. But nonetheless, when the trade went down, he was telling me they're going to win multiple titles. I said, you're not winning multiple times. We had a bet, by the way, so he's going to be paying me up here after the season ends, and they don't even get past the first round. But when you look at the Nets, Kyrie's a cancer. I mean, that's well known. He's not going to help you win anything. He's a great individual talent. But when you look at the Nets, their record is actually better when he doesn't play, which tells you all you need to know about that franchise. And then they think that adding Simmons is going to make them any better. When people watch Simmons know that Philadelphia fleeced him. At least Harden, say what you want to say about him, he's still an all-star caliber player. Yeah. Whilst Ben Simmons is probably the most incompetent offensive player I've ever seen for a borderline all-star. So I'm just laughing at them. They're not going to win a damn thing. And finally, guys, I want to call out Perloff. I think Perloff is doing like his Skip Bayless shtick, maybe trying to get a debate show. If you're thinking that this historic run by LeBron is not impressive, when you think about the incredible level you have to play at for 20 years, I don't think this record is going to be touched. You just mentioned a guy in Carmelo Anthony. He's one of the greatest scorers in league history. The guy's still out of the league looking for a job, and he's younger than LeBron. So that just tells you how great of an impact that LeBron has had. And I don't think this number is going to be touched. I don't think any player is going to play at an iconic level. He's played for 20 straight years. he's in year 20 and he's still averaging in year 30. So I don't think this is ever going to be done, and I'm glad witness history, even though I was a little salty with the way he left Miami, leaving Riley hanging in Vegas.
Yeah.
He knew he was going back to Cleveland. So thanks for the time, guys.
I'll let Perloff respond first because I've got a response to what Mark just said. Great call, Mark, by the way. Have a great weekend.
Sorry, I zoned out when he started talking about LeBron's achievements and how he's been playing since he was 17.
Okay, so here's the one thing about what Mark said, that this record won't be touched. I don't know about that. And here's the reason I say yes. LeBron is playing at an unbelievable level considering his age and the miles on his body. We are so in uncharted territory on what a professional basketball player can squeeze out of their career at this point.
Right.
Like, LeBron's amazing still, and he's doing it at 38. Like, even Michael at 38 had clearly slowed down, and he even took 2 years off to go to baseball and then took years off after his retirement after 98. So it's unprecedented. However, with the sports science we have today, with the load management that we have, which kind of works both ways because you sit out games yet, so you don't have opportunities to score there. But the way that like these guys' bodies are protected now, maybe we start seeing guys pushing their careers out later and later and later. So I can't say I 100% agree with Mark that it will never be touched, but I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, I think, no, obviously, I feel like me saying that this record doesn't matter sounds like an insult of LeBron or something.
Yeah, it definitely does.
What? I honestly, I didn't care that Kareem had it. I didn't even really know Kareem had it. I never once thought, hey, who's the all-time home run leader? For years, you could say Hank Aaron. Nobody. Who's the all-time NBA points leader? I guess you might think, oh, isn't that Kareem?
Yeah.
Because it's not like, that's not a sacred record. There's sacred records in sports. That is definitely not, in my book, one that I would sit around and say, ooh, here comes the all-time leading scorer. Nobody introduces Kareem like that.
I mean, I've interviewed Kareem. I think I've mentioned it. You usually mention, though, the titles and the MVPs.
Right,
generally.
because he's the greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan. That has nothing to do with, nobody talks about that. They talk about the 6 rings.
Yeah, I know, but Michael didn't break the record. That's why.
And Tom Brady's the all-time passing leader. Nobody will ever introduce him as that. It will never even come up. And they'd probably be passed by Mahomes, and no one's going to care about that either because the NFL has changed the rules.
How about our buddy Mike is in California, wants to talk about records in sports. What's up, Mike? How are you?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you today?
We're doing great. What's happening?
So I actually kind of think both of you are right, and I think a lot of it's because of the way we grew up watching sports. Basketball and football have always been about the team, and Perloff just nailed it a second ago. We talk about Tom Brady because of how many championships he's won. You look at who's number 2 on the stats list, on the quarterback stats, and it's Drew Brees, and Drew Brees has got 1 championship, and nobody's ever going to say that Drew Brees is the second best quarterback to ever play in the NFL.
Right.
Same with basketball. We look at how many banners are up in the arenas. But when we talk about baseball, we grew up following specific players and specific player stats. And I think that that's why the individualism of baseball still reigns very true. While the home run aspect of it's changed because now everybody's going for the bombs, we still look at saves by pitchers. We still look at the home runs. We still look at stolen bases till those went to the wayside. We look at the individual records because that's how we grew up watching baseball. We don't do that with the other sports.
It's a good call, Mike. And by the way, Nick sent me the jalapeno queso dip. Oh, Mike's gone. Just so you know, I've got it now. So thank you very much for all involved. The triangulation that got me this recipe.
Oh, a recipe.
I appreciate everyone. Oh, not the actual dip. Sorry, the recipe.
First of all, I say, are you not going to share it with everybody?
No.
Where is it?
I definitely was not going to share it with you guys. Come on.
That's a great point.
I was going to hoard it.
That's a great point. When I collected football, basketball, and baseball cards, I always looked at I cared about how many home runs a guy had, but I didn't really notice football players' stats. That was not a big deal. You never like, oh, so-and-so had 30 touchdowns. You just don't look at stats the same way for football players as you do baseball players. The NBA is sort of in between there for me.
Which is funny, though, because, when guys get into the Hall of Fame, we look at all pros and Pro Bowls and stuff like that.
Big
Their
time.
stats definitely matter when they get in the Hall of Fame because Super Bowls matter, but not like, I'm not talking about for quarterbacks or coaches. I'm talking about for defensive ends, for corners.
Well, they don't really have, they don't. defensive ends.
Super Bowls are not going to come into the equation.
There's a ton of offensive linemen in there. They're only judged by all pros and Pro Bowls.
Exactly.
Numbers aren't sacred for the NFL. I don't think.
I think in winning, I'm saying, like, if you're just putting winning.
Well, yeah, but Andre Reed
really
made the Hall of Fame, and he didn't have huge numbers. Or you go down the list, there's tons of guys.
But he didn't have any Super Bowls either. Is that what you're saying to get me to say that?
No, but he made a bunch of Super Bowls. I think if he wasn't in 4 Super Bowls without stat line, he was in Kansas City and never made it past the first round. Who knows?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, they all got in just like the Cowboys all got in, right? Because you all, even though Troy Aikman didn't have the numbers really to get in, you get in because you were part of a special moment.
I tease, but that was a special team. They made 4 straight Super Bowls, an incredible accomplishment.
You finally said it.
I've always liked that team.
I'm just kidding. Let's go to Keith is in Tucson. Keith, what's up?
I have to agree with Perloff to a point. At first, I didn't agree with him, and then I heard this stat about LeBron passing Kareem, and he did it in over 100 and something games less. That kind of made it a little bit more impressive. And as far as baseball stats, the previous caller, I think he hit the nail on the head. It's more of an individual player stat in baseball than it is a team stat, and that's what makes it stand out. And Perloff, if I may say something, it's kind of like constructive criticism. Quit saying "not in my book" because that would never be a bestseller.
Really? Wow. Your mom bought it. I don't know what.
I'm out.
Meet you on the corner, you little bitch.
I did not see that coming. Whoa. Perloff had that one ready to go.
I didn't understand with that shot, and I think I could get away with. Yeah.
I've never heard you do a your mom joke in my life.
You have not followed me on Twitter long enough. I had about a 5-year span of your mom jokes on Twitter.
That was just Perloff from the top rope. Well done. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what he meant by that. In your book would not be a bestseller. What does it matter? Perloff you dropped the mic on him.
And by the way, I agree with him that he's on my side in this argument. Sorry, Keith. You kind of opened yourself up for that.
You come at the host. You best not miss. 855-212-4CBS. Perloff, I didn't know you had it in you. 855-212-4227. Man, this show is off to a rip-roaring start. I love it. Big NFL news. We got to get to that as well. We see you guys calls to LeBron breaking the record. Is it the same as the home run record? Get more into it next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Favorite donut is the cinnamon and sugar covered ones.
Wow. I have to admit, you're picking a low seed.
Why? I stand
I
by
feel
it.
like if we could find a ranking of donut flavors, I imagine that's not top 5.
My favorite all time is like an apple fritter, but I didn't think that was traditional donut.
By the way, I think I know what an apple fritter is, but I'm not exactly sure what an apple fritter is.
Literally turned his chair away from me. Like, what am I doing?
Okay.
True story. I once took one out of the freezer because I wanted to eat one so badly, and I couldn't even wait until it got unfrozen, and I bit into it while it was still frozen. I was like, I have a problem.
The excitement you had about that frozen apple fritter story
I thought
was
I was really glad to share something with you guys, some vulnerability about the time I went.
We don't even know what apple fritters are, man. I say, what's your favorite kind of donut? A Kit Kat bar.
Here are Maggie and Perloff.
What up? Welcome. Happy Friday. Big NBA trade request that was made today. Kyrie Irving has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. So that's not all that shocking considering Kyrie Irving is just the latest of the Nets players to request a trade. That was James Harden last year, Kevin Durant this summer, and now Kyrie. So they're basically averaging like one every few months.
Has Kyrie never requested a trade from the Nets?
I think that he was given permission to seek a trade.
Partners, right. Because he was on the outs with the team. I remember that.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And how that? I guess he couldn't find one.
Could not find a trade partner, but according to Shams Charania, who also broke the news, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Phoenix Suns, and the Dallas Mavericks have emerged as potential suitors for Kyrie Irving. Apparently, Magic Johnson weighed in saying Kyrie Irving would look good in the purple and gold, which is hilarious that Magic would weigh in because all of Magic's tweets are only the most obvious thing ever.
Yeah.
It's like basically reading a box score, and now all of a sudden he comes in with the hard opinion.
But I don't know if that's a hard opinion. That feels consistent with that. Kyrie would look good in the purple and gold. Yeah, I think.
Well, I mean, listen, if they really wanted him, they would have traded for him this summer.
Well, yeah. I mean, you sure the Nets were taking Westbrook back for Kyrie? this summer. Westbrook's, I think, stock's a little higher now, but that's a problem. I don't know if they had anything to get him in the summer.
Maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, I just find all of this hilarious. Like, it was going to end any other way, but in complete just things being blown to ashes in Brooklyn. Now it's just a question of whether Kevin Durant gets traded too.
How does Chris Paul and Kyrie Irving work? Is that a thing?
In the Suns? I think it'd be more like Ayton, wouldn't it? Because DeAndre...
No. I mean, how would they play together on the same team? Aren't they just a little too short of a backcourt to be out there in crunch time? Maybe not. They're both amazing. I mean,
you stagger the minutes.
Yeah, okay.
You know, like when Harden and Chris Paul played together, they weren't on the court all that at the same time all that much.
Got it. Yeah, but I think if you have Kyrie and you're the Suns, you need them both on the court deep in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, sure.
And it's just an odd little mixture of
can
people
Chris Paul make it to the end of a season?
Also, Luka and Kyrie. That feels like a very odd fit. Because Luka just wants the ball in his hand at all times.
Yeah, and so does Kyrie. I think the one thing about that is the Mavs got to do something. Right?
Yeah, I like that. I like that for them because you can't double Luka as wantonly if you have Kyrie.
So our discussion about Kyrie's trade request and him possibly going to the Lakers led us down another rabbit hole here of Perloff revealing that he doesn't think LeBron passing Kareem for NBA all-time scoring leader is really that big of a deal.
I think it's a great record, and LeBron deserves all the flowers, but it is not a sacred record in sports world to me, the all-time NBA leading scorer. I
think it's one of the most sacred ones we have left, quite frankly, because Barry Bonds and the controversy kind of killed the home run record. Football, they changed the rules so much, everyone's passing for 4,000, 5,000 yards, it feels like. I don't know.
Well, NBA scoring is out of control right now. So
NBA scoring, remember all the guys with the 50-point games to start off the season?
There's about 8 players averaging over 30 points, and the three-point line changes everything, and the complete lack of defense changes everything. But I don't know. I never thought much about that record growing up. It wasn't a big part of it. I'm like, I wonder who the all-time leading scorer is.
Well, also because Kareem had it by a mile for such a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently he did. Our buddy Big Dave is in Kentucky. Dave, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? Loving the show. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Listen, on the LeBron thing, I gotta go with McLevin on this. I don't want to downplay the accomplishment. I mean, it's phenomenal, and he'll do it in like 150 games less than Kareem's. Is that right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I think 100, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I think he played at present. I think it's like 152 less. I think if I look or something like that. But listen, let me ask y'all a question.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a more dysfunctional professional athlete, comparatively speaking, to the level of talent that he is, than Kyrie Irving? I mean, Antonio Brown, correct?
That's a good one.
I mean, and that might be even a bit of on a different level.
Yeah. I mean, active athlete? Because, I mean, OJ? No, I'm just joking. No,
don't do that.
No, Kyrie hasn't been in that. No, I think he's one of the top 10 most talented players in the NBA, but he's number 1 in headaches, too. So I think that's tough to think of anyone off the top of my head.
I mean, I think, Dave, you brought a good one with Antonio Brown. But Antonio Brown, though, a little bit different because he's had legal stuff. Like, Kyrie hasn't had legal stuff, We should make there's a line of demarcation there.
Absolutely.
Like, Antonio Brown's been... Oh, sorry, David, I didn't mean to hang up on you there. Like, Antonio Brown's been accused of some really heinous, horrific things. He's had legal troubles. Kyrie has said incredibly, offensive things. I'm sorry, he promoted a movie that said incredibly offensive things about Jewish people and the Jewish heritage. He was, that's not, you're not arrested for that. We might find it very unsavory, but he doesn't have legal issues or has not been like an upstanding member of society,
I'm trying to think of a player.
Distasteful.
Right. Yeah. In any sport who just hasn't shown up. That's Kyrie's biggest sports crime is being absent. He just does not show up all the time. He kind of walked away. He walked away from the Celtics. Yeah. But I'm trying to think of somebody like that. You're right. Brown, it gets into some criminal stuff.
Yeah, it's different. I mean,
there
the one thing about
tons of guys who've let down their team over the years, but Kyrie seems to keep coming back to it.
Yeah, I mean, like T.O. was always an issue in the locker room, but T.O. never, was promoting anything anti-Semitic or anything like that.
Yeah, T.O. was incredibly consistent on the field, always there, always showed up. I mean, I think that's Kyrie's biggest sports crime is that you just don't know if he wants to play basketball and he wants to be there for the team.
I think that's his biggest sports crime, yes.
Sports crime, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but there's, sports crime's not real.
Yeah, well, right. Except unless you're a GM who's like, ooh, do I want to pay this guy the max when I don't really know if he wants to play?
Well, see, that's another thing about the teams who would be trading for him in theory. So he's a free agent at the end of the year. You're going to trade assets or trade something for him for a rental for half the season, or are you going to actually think about giving him a contract extension? Because he just balked at the Nets trying to put stipulations on a contract extension. What's every free front office going to want? Some protections to make sure that he's still going to play and that he's still all in and that he doesn't, say anything that's going to make you have to, put out apologies to your fan base and things like that.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. All right, Doug is in South Carolina. It's an interesting mathematical equation for these teams that might trade for him. What's up, Doug? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing great.
Hey, I was calling to apologize because I called in to give you guys a hard time. If you remember the Jeff Saturday hire.
You gave us a hard time about it? Sorry, refresh our memory.
Did. Well, I was saying as colleagues that you guys should be supportive.
Oh.
And you weren't? Yeah.
Oh, because we're in sports media and he's in sports media?
Are you a Colts fan, Doug?
No, I'm not. I'm actually embarrassed to say, but a Cowboys fan.
Oh, don't be embarrassed. Made it to the divisional round this year. Jerry says that's good enough.
When you grow up in New England and you're a Cowboys fan, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, life's not been good. So.
Yeah, it's rough.
But I was saying, I think one thing when we look at, and this is just something I was thinking about from you guys' conversation about, like, LeBron passing that, I agree with you that, and I'm a Lakers fan and a huge basketball fan. I don't remember how many points Kareem scored or Wilt. But why don't we look at, like, whoever was the number one scorer one year, who was the number one rebounder, who was defensive player of the year as actual stats rather than long-term with the NBA? Because, like, Robert Horry has won, 8 NBA championships. Is he one of the best of all time? No. But at one point, Bernard King was the best player scoring-wise in the NBA. So when you look at all-time stuff, I think NBA is the one thing you could look at seasons for who was...
As opposed to compiling. It's a good thought, Doug. It's a good thought, and you're forgiven on the Jeff Saturday thing. Everyone gets a mulligan, Doug. You can take a few. Thank you for the call. The one thing about the scoring title, though, is that you have to be in the right situation. Or, let's take LeBron, for example. Yeah. Don't you think LeBron could have the scoring title every year if he wanted? He puts a premium on passing the ball. He sees himself more as Magic than Michael.
If he gets to the assist record, that's way more impressive than the points record.
Where is he right now with the assist record?
He's getting high.
I know.
I think he'll end up top 5. Actually, LeBron was second in the league in scoring last year. I had forgotten that, but the season was not good. So I don't really care much about scoring on a bad team. That doesn't mean a lot to me. I think that's the other thing too. You can get a lot of points, and if your team's not good, that's not helpful.
Well, like Carmelo Anthony, I know. Yeah. Melo is a great player. I'm not trying to undercut Melo, but Melo won a scoring title when he was with the Knicks. Melo's entire career with the Knicks, they won 1 playoff series.
I think LeBron's ultimate legacy is not, I don't think it will be the scoring title. I think it'll be the finals and the championships.
Yeah, 10 straight finals at one point. Samter, where is he on the all-time assists?
He's 4th, but I don't think he's going to climb up. He's too far behind Stockton and Kidd at 1 and 2, and CP3 is 3. So I don't think he's passing CP3 at this point because they'll probably play similar amounts of time.
I don't know. CP3 might be done after this year.
He's 900 assists behind CP3, and on a good year, they average 6 or 7.
That's
so
a lot.
He's got to play 2 or 3 more years than Chris to get in the top 3. But still, that's impressive.
I mean, and remember, we criticized LeBron early in his career, pass the ball too much.
Remember that thing where he wouldn't shoot in the clutch, which is probably some truth to that criticism.
Didn't it start in the All-Star game where he passed up a game-winning All-Star game shot and everyone thought that it was nuts?
I mean, I remember it happened in the finals, in the first finals.
Yeah.
The very first one against the Spurs.
Oh, right. They did not have a chance.
No, they didn't have a prayer.
So let's say Anderson Varejao was going to have 4 games of his life. That wasn't happening.
Forgot about Varejao. Will is in North Carolina from Brazil. Hey, Will, how are you?
I like this version of Perloff, the sassy version.
How about Perloff coming from the top rope with the mom joke? Didn't see it coming.
All right. Let's not talk about it anymore.
Kicking butt and taking names on a Friday.
Hey, Will.
The news of Tom at the first of the week, I think he's finally gone. But, I mean, I'm sitting here watching LeBron, and, I mean, he's drove the narrative for the NBA, I don't know, the last 20-some years. I mean, how awkward is it going to be when he finally leaves?
Man,
good question.
It's a good point. If he ever leaves, we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, Bronny will be there to carry the torch at that point.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, they're definitely good. I agree. There's going to be Michael Jordan left. There was definitely a dip in the NBA until LeBron got there.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a post-LeBron vacuum. I love all these young players, but there's not another LeBron coming up. Ja Morant's amazing. Zion's exciting. Jason Tatum's wonderful. They can't be the singular face of the NBA like LeBron.
No, and let's not forget, I mean, this started with LeBron when he was 17.
Yeah.
Like, it started before he even got to the NBA that the hype was up, and then he's done nothing but exceeded over 20 years. So I don't think that we don't have one right now. But maybe I can't say the next LeBron is around the corner, but maybe we don't have to go as long in between when Michael retired to get the next face of the league.
It's going to be tough. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of sort of faces of the league, like Giannis.
A lot of guys splitting it.
Giannis, Luka, Ja Morant. There's a lot of big Devin Booker,
Tatum. Yep.
Tatum.
I mean, Steph Curry.
Well, Steph Curry's closer to LeBron's age, but the set of circumstances to get other LeBron is going to be tough. Yeah, there's nobody, unless there's a 60. Oh, Wembanyama. There you go.
Oh, yeah, French Windmill. Hasn't even played a minute in the NBA yet.
He's getting LeBron
Congrats, you're the next LeBron.
He's getting a lot of LeBron hype.
I see clips of him almost every day, multiple times a week. I'm like,
Zion was hyped in high school. This is the most I've ever seen.
I think Zion was equally as hyped, but he just got hurt so often.
Okay.
He had that big injury, and then he was just out.
I hate to do this with Wembanyama. Have you anyone who's actually seen him, his body type, does that scream I'm going to be healthy for 10 years?
Knock on wood.
Yeah, I'll knock on wood for the guy. I hope he is.
Did you see him palm a basketball with 2 fingers?
Nobody looks like it's kind of like a Chet Holmgren kind of thing, and he didn't even make it to training camp. So,
but there is a lot of hype around this guy.
Oh, I know. He's amazing.
There's not many high school players I can remember who have anything like this.
Remember who was like a sneaky person who was hyped before they got to the NBA? Ricky Rubio. Do you guys remember that? There were a lot of Rubio highlights. He was playing in Spain. It was like, who is this guy? They're still playing.
Yeah,
he might get traded on Thursday. He's been traded like 100 times.
He was in the Dream Team documentary going up against...
Not the Dream Team.
Yeah, the Dream Team. Not the Dream.
No, that was Tony Kukoc.
No, the Dream Team documentary then talked about the No, sorry, it was the LeBron Kobe Dream Team.
Oh, the Redeem Team.
The Redeem Team. I'm sorry. Yeah. I think they went up against Ricky Rubio, and he was like the next phenom.
Yeah.
He was pretty good in that game.
They played Spain in the final.
There you go.
Yeah. I still need to watch that.
Oh, it's pretty good.
I'm going to put that on the to-do.
A lot of Kobe.
I'm sure. Okay, we see you guys on the phones. Going to get back to you. Conversation's awesome. We will get into some more NFL, though. And later on in the show, Kay Adams is going to join us. One of our good friends got a new show, Up and Adams. Breaks a lot of news on the show, has a lot of fun, and she'll join us a little bit later. All right, we're back with more Maggie and Perloff right after this.
Do you love spending all that time in long grocery checkout lines, Maggie? Yeah, I didn't think so.
No.
Get HelloFresh's chef-created recipes delivered right to your door instead.
I love it because you can skip the trip to the grocery store. It's about 0 degrees here in New York. I don't want to go out, so you can spend more time doing the things that you love and staying inside and being warm. HelloFresh now has 40 weekly recipes to choose from, more choices than ever before. Just say goodbye to your recipe rut and hello to seasonal recipes packed with farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients that make getting dinner on the table easy and enjoyable.
From fit and wholesome to family-friendly and quick and easy, HelloFresh has dishes for your lifestyle and meal preference, with options to please even the pickiest eaters. Plus, it doesn't hurt that HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and restaurant takeout. Make eating easy and exciting with America's #1 meal kit. Sign up today for 65% off plus free shipping with code SPORTSNEWS65. That's SportsNews65 at HelloFresh.com/SportsNews65. That's code SportsNews65 at HelloFresh.com/SportsNews65.
You're in a 4-minute break. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
There's more news today. This one comes from college football, and I wish that we had been live on the air for your reaction to this. We're not really good actors, but should we? Or you're a great actor. Should I recreate it?
No, go. Yeah, we can recreate it.
Okay, try to do the same reaction you had in the break.
I don't want to do this.
Okay, react however you want to react.
Okay,
it's official. Alabama has hired their new offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees from Notre Dame.
So I'm an adopted Alabama fan because it's easy. I just don't understand. Notre Dame sort of ran a conservative thing up in Notre Dame. They kind of won by being an all-around good, solid team. I never felt like they were Tommy Rees.
I mean, but who were their wide receivers? They had a great tight end, but
Tommy Rees was not assigned to run a Lane Kiffin or Steve Sarkisian offense.
Well, maybe Drew Pine can't do that. or couldn't do that.
No, but I mean, Rees had been there before. I don't think Notre Dame, certainly under Kelly, was not going to run that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I just think in the SEC at Alabama, you have to be one of these spread guys like Steve Sarkisian. So, and by the way, a lot of people I know Tommy Rees. He was friends with the DP show, and he's awesome. He's the coolest guy. But I just don't totally get the scheme fit. We're curious what Nick Saban, maybe he wants not to run a spread crazy offense where they're scoring 50 points a game and maybe get back to his roots. Remember, he won those titles with A.J. McCarron and Greg McElroy.
Yeah, he won
where
a
they
title
just play smart football.
6-9, wasn't that? Or 9-6 was the final score against LSU in one of those.
Was that the title game or the game of the year earlier in the? I think that's how they used to win. Remember they had a game of the century that was in the regular season.
Leonard
then they played,
Fournette, right, when he was at LSU?
Something like that. And then they played again in that year in the title game. One of them was definitely 9-6.
Yeah, it was 9-6. That's the kind of football Saban wants. I mean, listen, he's a defensive-minded coach.
No, but also, too, he does incredible things. A lot of guys he bring in at offense coordinator were not on the highest of highs, and he helped rebuild their careers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a departure because I thought this was going to be more of like a place for like a Cliff Kingsbury or something, where a guy who just got fired from one job kind of goes for a little rehab. Yes, Samter.
So it was a regular season game. Number 1 LSU beat number 2 Alabama 9-6. They rematched in the national championship game. Bama rolled them 21-0.
Still not exactly a high-scoring affair. 21-0 in college football. That's like the first
quarter. Could you imagine watching a 21-0 game in the national championship?
Ooh.
Where LSU scores nothing?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, we kind of got close with TCU this year. I didn't want to be the person to say it.
Yeah, but it was like 90-7, so like at least you had like...
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what that would be like because I felt like I just watched it. Eric is in Portland, wants to go back to our... NBA scoring records. Perloff's like, not that impressed with LeBron's pursuit of Kareem's all-time scoring title. Eric, what's up?
Well, first of all, best top of the day to you guys, but Perloff, you deserve a whole new word in the English language because you couldn't be wronger.
We'll submit it to Merriam-Webster.
There we go. Take the top 5 guys, NBA scoring all time, and figure out how many championships they have amongst them. That scoring that they did feeds directly into the number of championships. Now take the 5 top guys in terms of home runs, and how many championships did those home runs directly feed? And by the way, nobody really cares anymore because of all the steroids.
Yeah.
It's become a very, very diminished record. And the Aaron Judge thing, I've rarely seen thing more forced upon us because people don't really care that much about the all-time American league, a scoring champion, home run champion. It's like saying who scored the most points in the Eastern Conference. We don't care about that.
Eric, it was a way to, I mean, I totally get it, and I understand what you're saying, and solid call all the way around. Have a nice weekend. I just think it was a way to leave Bonds out of it. You know, I don't think baseball wanted the Barry Bonds side of this, like this sort of thing that's wrapped in controversy. They just wanted to leave that to the side. I mean, listen, you and I talked about it. What's the real record? What should be acknowledged? So to say American League was more calculated than just...
It was an attempt to sort of make it all work out in an imperfect situation. I didn't love it. I got to agree. The American League home run record sounds a little lame.
Yeah, well,
because we don't really distinguish since interleague play came along. We don't really make the big distinction between AL and NL. Now they both have designated hitters.
Yep,
but there still is like MVP and Cy Young are still by.
Yeah, it's true. I wonder if that's gonna. No, that won't go by the wayside because the players like it too much.
That seems, and we were so used to it. I think we're okay with that.
Yeah, and I think the players want more bites at the apple at possible awards, you know, because they get bonuses and stuff like that. And
but wouldn't it just be cool to have like one MLB MVP and one Cy Young winner?
Hey, wait, aren't they also taking away the amount of times you play someone in your division now? Like, you're not playing your division rivals like 19 times anymore. Yankees, Red Sox don't play 19 times anymore. That stinks.
Why?
I like it when they play a lot. I love it when the Mets, Phillies, that's like...
That's okay, but I think
Mets Marlins. Are you pumped about that one 19 times?
Listen, I mean, when I'm watching some of the Marlins pitchers, I'm like, all right.
I think the schedule gets a little stale. I'd like to see it mixed up. It's more fun when you spread it out.
When I'm going to a game, like if I buy a ticket and go to a game, I'd much rather go see, and you guys know Mets fan, I'd much rather see Mets Phillies, Mets Nats, Mets Marlins even, than I'd rather go see Mets Rockies.
Don't you want to see somebody, Mets Dodgers?
Well, Mets Dodgers, but the Dodgers will always be a draw.
Yeah, I am the opposite. I would get a little bored by playing the same team over and over and over.
I think it's good. The rivalries develop. You know, it's like Yankees Red Sox. There's a reason why that's so good, is because they meet at every portion of the season. You get early series, you get the summer series, and then they usually make it one of the last series of the year.
That particular case makes sense. But in the NFL, when they have the Colts and the Jags play each other 7 times a year, that's pretty boring. At least it feels that way.
Yeah, it always feels like the Colts are playing the Jags.
Colts and Jags are Thursday night color rush.
Yeah, forever. Hashtag color rush. I'm sorry, you had something you wanted to tell me.
I got an alert on my phone that is really interesting. It's a buddy who covers the Eagles has actual sound from Jalen Hurts' press conference yesterday.
Oh my gosh, is Elliot?
No, not Elliot. It's another buddy. You don't know him. His name's Mike. Anyway, it's actual sound that wasn't picked up by a lot of people from Jalen Hurts' press conference, but I wanted to play because I think you'll find it interesting, Maggie.
Okay, so this is exclusive sound that Perloff has from Jalen Hurts' press conference.
Best play of the season. My best play of the season? The season's not over.
What are we waiting for?
Oh, no.
Take this!
Yeah.
No, not the Rocky.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't expect
Wow.
the late Burgess Meredith to show up at Jalen Hurts' press conference. But I got to tell you, I love Jalen Hurts' answer. I don't know how he came up on it. What's your best play of the season? The season's not over yet. Jalen Hurts is pretty darn near perfect as far as off the field stuff.
What do you think was a better line this year? Jalen Hurts, season's not over yet, or Geno Smith, they wrote me off, I didn't write back?
That was pretty good, too. And luckily, Geno could back it up. If Geno hadn't backed it up at all, then if he had sort of fallen off a cliff after that comment, it would have been bad. No,
Geno's in the Pro Bowl last night, or whatever that is, whatever we're calling it now, Pro Bowl skills competition.
I'm just surprised that Jalen Hurts had a bassoon with him, that he just started wailing away.
Yeah.
That was really impressive.
He's very musical.
His commitment to the bit is really amazing.
Yeah, he was in the marching band and the football team.
What are we waiting for? Take this!
You know, I think now he's saying, what are we waiting for? Tickets.
Yeah.
He needs the tickets. He needs tickets to the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, the quarterman never gets tickets.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, he has to buy them on his own. I don't know if you knew that.
Shame.
Wow. I just can't wait. Third quarter, game's getting a little close. Patrick Mahomes make a big play. That video comes up, and it's lights out Kansas City Chiefs. That's the prediction.
Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes, full participant in practice yesterday and today. Listen, he played on, 5 days? It was about 5 days rest that he had in between the divisional round and the championship. I think not only, obviously, he's going to play, but I think he's going to look fine.
I don't.
Now, listen, the Eagles' pass rush is for
NFL legal counsel Jeff Pash.
Littering and smoking the reefer. That is like probably the number one, if we're talking about X's and O's matchup that we're looking forward to, is Patrick Mahomes against the Eagles front.
Here's the issue. He might look good for a quarter or 2 quarters, but all you need is 1 or 2 plays where he can't plant the right way. I think the fumble might have been ankle related. I think he got a jolt of pain up his right foot.
Late in the third quarter when it just sort of slipped out of his hand.
Yeah, and not only that, all the receivers are injured too. Kelsey's got some back problem. There's just so much going on with Kansas City that not knowing exactly where the medicine is, I think there's a lot of compelling reasons to pick the Eagles just because of the Kansas City injuries alone. And I don't think Mahomes is 100%. I think he's 85.
You know how this happens, though? We talk about injuries. Like we talked about Kelsey having the back spasms and, Mahomes' ankle didn't end up mattering, right? They ended up winning the game anyway. We talked about Lane Johnson. Was he 100%? Jalen Hurts' shoulder didn't end up mattering. I just feel like with the 2 weeks and with the Super Bowl, and Hurts kind of got a pass because, the 49ers fell apart once Purdy got hurt. The offense was just stymied.
But Hurts did not look like himself at all. He threw for 125 yards in a football game. And also his running his average yard per carry is way down.
Well, I think the reason why his passing was down is because Nick Sirianni was smart and knew that the 49ers couldn't score. So why start throwing the ball all around and giving the 49ers defense a chance to get off the field quickly? Run the ball, wear them out, wear them down. It's exactly what they did, and you guys won easily.
Absolutely, but
that
even
was a game plan
when he passed early, it didn't look good. He couldn't pass anything past the sticks. There was no chunk plays at all. And honestly, I was more concerned. He had 11 carries for 39 yards. That's 3 yards a carry. Early in the season, he was going for way more than that.
Yeah, but
5, 6, 7, 8.
They didn't need. They knew, like the Eagles. Once Purdy went out of the game, and after the Josh Johnson fumble, you knew that you had him.
Wait, I'm saying when Hurts did take off, it didn't look good. He ran 11 times.
I think he was protecting himself.
Yeah, and I worry that he's going to have to do that in the Super Bowl. Is he going to be able to run unabandoned like he did earlier?
I think so, because you're not leaving anything in the tank. This is it. You would have all off season. If he probably needs surgery or something to work on the shoulder, this is the time. I think he's going to look really aggressive.
I hope so, because his running sets have been terrible since he came back from the injury.
Well, you can understand.
9 for 13, 9 for 34, and 11 for 39, where earlier in the year, he's 17 for 90, 11 for 57, 9 for 27, 16 for 88, 17 for 157. He gets 20 yards downfield. I don't see him doing that right now. I hope he can.
Well, I mean, you guys also didn't exactly have the hardest schedule.
Well, it doesn't matter when you can just see him run. It's not nearly the same. I don't care who you're going against. A quarterback who's fast is going to pick up a lot of yards.
I think, remember we were talking about how the story came out that Jalen Hurts, they told him to like fall on the other shoulder.
Yes.
Or like all that. He's not going to be thinking about, I don't think he'll be thinking about that kind of stuff in this game. It's like empty the tank.
Yeah, that's what as an Eagles fan, I'm hoping that. I mean, I don't want to see him get hurt, but let me just give you one stat comparative. Against the Giants, his first game before he got hurt, 7 carries, 77 yards. The next game against the Giants, 9 carries, 13 yards. And the next game after that, 9, 34. It's a different player. I saw Greg Cosell do a video breakdown and say his passing is way less effective now. He just doesn't look healthy. But I just want running. Run, keep it out of Mahomes' hand. If I was the OC of the Eagles, which I'm not yet.
Yeah, you're going to put your resume in?
Exactly how you describe what they did to San Francisco. That'd be a good formula to slow down the Chiefs, right?
Keeping Mahomes off the field? It's a smart idea.
Have you thought about your bets yet?
Yes.
And
I'm thinking of them strategically against your bets because I'm down 2 points. What do we going to call it? Like I'm trailing you by 2 picks, if you will.
So basically, I have to make the picks, and you're going to have to decide if you want to counter them.
I think that's the way we should do it. Like you're in the lead by 2 picks. And we make 3 picks before each game. Yes. So I think you make your picks first, and I'll have like a spreadsheet, and then Well,
it'll be pretty obvious. There's one game, and we pick the winner. We pick the spread.
Yes, I'm gonna have to go anti-you, but our props are different.
Props are different. That'll be a distinguisher, but you're just gonna have to play off me, which I think you're gonna want to do anyway.
You're too emotionally invested.
Yeah, I mean, I can't bet against the Eagles. I mean, can you imagine me not picking the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and then they lose because I didn't pick them?
Well, you could emotional hedge.
Think
about it. I mean, I love a good emotional hedge because then you pick against your team if you really think it's going to be close or something, and then if they win.
This is from a woman who will not even bet on a Bills game under any circumstance whatsoever. You won't even emotional hedge. You have no interest. But you are so scared that you're going to somehow affect the outcome.
I mean,
maybe Josh Allen's going to read one of your tweets 4 hours before the game. Now you didn't bet on us.
Listen. Crazier things have happened. Mention that there could be a surprise coming later in the show. But the surprise is something that we need your help with. So the duck costume's just been sitting around doing nothing. Hanging up in the office, wondering, man, what do we do with the duck costume? So let's give this a whirl. If you have a problem or a question and you need advice on anything, could be life stuff, sports stuff, your choice. I'll answer your question in the duck costume. It's called the advice duck.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows the advice duck.
Obviously.
What's the connection between advice and the duck costume?
Just thought it up. Because I'm not going to like pretend to be a duck or anything like that. But if you have advice, or if you want advice, pardon me, on something, you have a question, something you can't figure out, you need a neutral party, someone impartial, I'll give you the truth.
Can I say that Maggie gives great advice? Very good advice. And she does it in a very calm, reassuring fashion. I enjoy going to you for advice. So I think this will be a really cool segment.
Listen, I'm good. I've got a lot of life skills here. First of all, I'm female. You got any questions, advice for women?
Most of us do not have a woman we can ask for honest advice for.
Yeah, it's like I'm the person who lives down the hall.
So is Maggie answering these questions, or is the duck answering the questions?
Maggie as the advice duck.
No, I think it's just the advice duck.
I'm sorry, just the advice duck.
Yeah,
but
Maggie's barely involved in this at all.
Listen, I know it's 2023, but I'm not going to change genders when I go into the advice duck. So I'm still going to be a woman.
You're just changing species.
I'm going to change species, but I'm still going to be female.
Good to know.
So I'm going to give advice in the duck costume. Yeah, what do I have going for me? Female. I'm a mom. That might mean something. It might not. What else? A
great sports fan, very knowledgeable about sports.
Thanks.
Fashion.
And, I think I've got a level head. So you can either leave them in the chat if you have questions, you want advice, or you can leave them at Maggie Gray, at Maggie and Pearl on Twitter. You can email us, maggieandperloff@gmail.com.
The great thing about a duck is you see them on the water, and they're totally calm, but underneath, they're churning those legs like crazy.
That's me.
That's Maggie.
I know, that is me. Yes, Perloff. See, here we go. Advice Duck has now been unleashed on the world. You got questions, the duck has answers. We also have NFL stuff to get to, and we'll do that next. Time for a CBS Sports Update. Here's Rich Ackerman.
Sports Flag.
Well, Kyrie Irving is a terrific talent, but a petulant one as well. He has carried the Nets with Kevin Durant out, but has reportedly asked the team to trade him before next Thursday's trade deadline. Irving has been terrific on and off the court since returning from his suspension. He's one of 8 players in the NBA currently averaging over 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists a game. He had previously said he wanted to stay in Brooklyn long term, but no deal has happened, and he said if he's not traded, he's told the team that he is leaving as a free agent. Domas Sabonis returns to Indiana for the first time since being dealt for Tyrese Halliburton. Both players are headed to the All-Star game tonight, or I should say in a couple of weeks. The Kings come in tonight, leading the Pacific Division. The Pacers fell to the Lakers last night. The Wizards go for their 7th straight against the Blazers. Washington had its previous game Wednesday postponed because the Pistons were unable to fly home from Dallas. They did ultimately make it back to Detroit and will host the Hornets tonight. The East-leading Celtics go for their 3rd straight against the Suns, while the Sixers, 3 games back, open up a 3-game road trip in San Antonio. Notre Dame offensive coordinator Tommy Rees reportedly leaving the school to fill the same role on Nick Saban's staff at Alabama. I'm Rich Ackerman.
I'm JR. CBS Sports Radio has moved to SiriusXM Channel 158. Or listen on your local station. Find your local affiliate at Odyssey.com/stations.
CBS Sports Radio.
5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
And yes, y'all, welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. It's been a fun show so far, and obviously the Kyrie Irving trade request, Perloff, kind of pushed the NFL to the back burner for a moment, but there was a funny moment last night during the NFL skills competition, whatever we're calling. I watched a bunch of people play dodgeball last night.
I loved
for 5 minutes, and then I turned it off. You liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the long drive contest was cracking me up. What was the second contest? I'm already forgetting what it was, but I enjoyed that one too. Dodgeball was okay. That was a little bit of a mess.
You think? Well, they had like high profile guys playing. It was like Myles Garrett and, you know, big like names.
Oh, the water balloon thing. That was cool. Yeah. I generally give them props. It was probably better than the actual Pro Bowl football game. I know they're doing a flag football game.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
It's for kids. You know, it's not for me, right?
Yeah.
It's for kids or for, you know, adults who are bored. But I thought it was just very funny when they were playing dodgeball. And at one point, it's 3-on-1. and Eli Manning was the coach, I guess, and had to tell the guys, hey, everyone get a ball and throw it at him at the same time. I'm like,
what were they doing before that?
Just randomly throwing the ball at the one guy left. I'm like, you really needed Eli Manning to give you the heads up on this strategy? It was crazy.
I think I saw that, and the guy tried to catch one, and then he tried to catch the next one. He dropped both of them.
It's pretty good.
It's actually,
I think it was Minka Fitzpatrick was the last man standing.
I did see that. Okay. Yeah, I will give you one thing the NFL does is you never see these guys without their helmets. It's not the NBA, so it's hard to establish them as stars beyond the quarterback. So it was kind of cool to see them without their helmets. I did like that.
Yeah, and you got a little personality, too. And speaking of personality, NFL Network was interviewing Derek Carr, and this was a event being held in Las Vegas. And they asked Carr some questions.
Listen, Derek, you've thrown touchdown passes in Vegas before. You've been on fire. Have you ever been that hot in Las Vegas?
Not that hot. It's probably why I'm going somewhere else.
Nice.
Such a good cell phone, which is funny because Derek Carr doesn't come off as somebody who is like that willing to be the butt of the joke, considering how many people he blocks on Twitter, and it seems like he's kind of sensitive, actually. So
yeah, but this is weird. I don't remember a quarterback being as mad at a team as he is openly as mad at them. This is unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think I get where he's coming from. I mean, listen, you think
he has a right to be mad?
No, I don't. It's a business. They weren't winning enough. But listen, if he's the reason they got Devontae Adams, I mean, that's pretty good, right? You would think maybe they'd give him another year. But
yeah, I like what he's saying. And the funny thing is, I'm seeing the market. Everyone wants him now. He's a popular fella.
You think? Well, now that Brady retired, we're not sure what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. Got a little news about that later. And then, Derek Carr is looking like the cream of the crop.
Yeah, exactly.
If Rodgers doesn't move.
If Rodgers stays at Green Bay, then what are you looking at? Jimmy G, Derek Carr? Carr sounds a lot better. More every day we get closer to actual April. He's looking good.
Dude, at least he finishes seasons.
Yeah.
For Jimmy, it's hard. He has tons of injuries. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. So I thought that was kind of a lighthearted moment from Derek Carr. But yes, his market, I think, is going to be robust. The question is, listen, one thing I didn't realize actually about Stu's Raiders, may I just stay on them for a second? A lot of cap space for a team that has given out some serious contracts. Devontae Adams, Crosby, Renfro and Waller. They actually are a team that has some cap space and they have some picks. They've set themselves up in a pretty good place here. They just have a really glaring question, which is what the heck are you going to do with quarterback?
And Josh Jacobs is a free agent as well.
Yeah, that's tough to pay a running back, even though
but he was kind of the heart and soul of the team last year. It'd be nice to have him back. I am actually thinking the Jets are not out of Aaron Rodgers' possibility, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think Joe Douglas, GM, who you've interviewed at WFAN.
I've never interviewed him, but we cover the team very closely.
And Robert Saleh.
Yes.
That's a coach GM. I think if they get Aaron Rodgers in a room, he's going to like those guys. Yep. Those are very likable guys.
And Nate Hackett's already there.
There. So maybe, because some people are saying, he's not going to want to be part of the Jets' recent history. It's been a mess. The front office has not been on the same page. They used to churn through GMs.
Yep.
I think Joe Douglas, the kind of person he is, and Robert Saleh, I think Aaron Rodgers could be wooed by them. And there was that report on PFN that the Jets are all in on him. So if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm not ruling out the Jets. Yes, you point out the New York media market's not ideal. Maybe
it's just not a picnic.
The talent's very good and promising, a little young. I just think that if that GM and that coach get in a room with Aaron Rodgers, they can sell him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we had Michael Lombardi on yesterday, and he said, the one question that Joe Douglas and the Jets should have is, how long do you want to play?
Right.
Because we're not going to move heaven and earth to get you for a rental for 1 year when they have this really young team.
Well, the report said that they're all in. That's all in.
All in's all in, but I want to be all in for more than a season if I'm going to trade 2 first-round picks like Peter King had theorized it was going to take.
Where the Jets draft 13 now, They don't need another young player. They need a veteran at this point because
they need a quarterback.
They need a quarterback. Yeah. I mean, they have a young quarterback. They need a different quarterback.
I mean, Joe Douglas, good GM, major whiff though on Zach Wilson, and those are usually the things that get GMs fired. But he, I think, because of how he's built the rest of the team, gets one more bite at this apple. I mean, if it's Rodgers, that'd be quite a coup.
Is that a New York pun there?
Oh, I didn't mean it that way. Yeah. And now I actually feel kind of bad that I said that.
Yeah, the advice duck would have never done that.
No, they wouldn't have. I kind of hate myself, actually. Thank you for pointing that out.
Sorry.
Ramon is in Indianapolis. Ramon, what's up, sir?
Hi, how you two of my favorite people doing, Maggie Perloff. Nice to talk to you on a good Frigga, the goddess of war. Friday here that we have. So I throw a little Roman history out there, but I think Miami ought to move what they can, either Carr or Aaron Rodgers. That puts them over the top.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers got 2 years left on his deal. That'll be fine for Miami. Derek Carr, I think with the Waddle and Hill, they will do fine. Miami, they're in that division. They're looking up at Buffalo. New England is not that game. You just talked about the Jets. And if I'm Miami, I get one of those guys. Preferably, I'll probably try to get Aaron Rodgers. It's different conference. I think Green Bay will go for it. And that should put them over the top. What do you guys think? Thanks for my call.
Yeah, Ramon, solid.
I love it.
Don't know about the Roman history thing, but, I mean, thank you for trying to make the show smarter. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I said yes to the Jets. I assumed that Miami was going to stick with Tua because if he gets to Miami, that's got to be Rodgers' number one destination.
I would think. I mean, especially because we know that Rodgers, maybe it's like they're not rookie receivers in New York, but like they're all young.
So no.
Would you rather
second year and third year, your two best receivers?
Yeah, and I know Waddle is still young, but like you could also be throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill, like in Gesicki if he stays with the team. I mean, they're a little bit more of a seasoned group. Again, Waddle is young, but like they're a little more of a seasoned group.
Mike McDaniel, doing ayahuasca with Rodgers. Oh yeah. Like going down to Peru together.
Birds of a
little bit of
feather.
vaping, a little bit of
But is that good, though? Is that good that they're birds of a feather? Do you need two of these guys?
Dude, they are speaking the language. They're in the drum circle, just like passing off.
You won't hear Mike McDaniel saying that he doesn't hang out with Aaron Rodgers outside the facility. We know that.
Yeah, no, those two dudes are hanging out. Well, actually, they're probably about the same age.
I think actually Rodgers might be older. We got to check that. Or no, is McDaniel 39? Anyway, they're real close.
They're really, really close. Coming up, all the latest on the big trade request came in today. We got that for you. Plus, Kay Adams joins us in the next hour. A lot to do here on Maggie Perloff. Oh, and the advice duck. Send in your questions now. You got advice, the duck will give you an answer.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Even if your team wins, let alone the losses, then you kind of like go wherever you got to go, into your dark place.
Wait. What do you mean you go into your dark place? What does that mean?
Where do you go?
I don't go into my dark place. That sounds like you have a cave in your basement where you just sit and sulk.
She's Batman?
Yeah, without the crime fighting.
It actually sounds closer to Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
A little closer, yeah.
This dark place.
You don't go into a dark place when the Eagles lose?
I don't think like
just
you
like
do.
Endlessly scrolling, just like hoping that somehow the outcome changes through
so different because the last time the Eagles had that magnitude of game, they won. So I can't really relate to what it's like to have Super Bowl expectations and blow lead. So no, my dark place is not quite as dark because there's been light down there.
Amazing.
Unlike your dark place.
They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
So glad to have you on this Friday. It is Maggie and Perloff. We're across the country on CBS Sports Radio. Of course, we are streaming live, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. The chat is lit up like a Christmas tree today because, well, a lot of reasons. They're kind of naturally like that. And then also, we're taking your questions now for the Advice Duck. If you need advice on something, sports, non-sports, I'll answer your question wearing the duck costume. We got to move on, though, because LeBron James has sent out a tweet, cryptic as it is, the same day that Kyrie Irving requests a trade. We know that LeBron is open to playing with Kyrie. It looks like the teams who are involved are the Lakers, the Suns, the Dallas Mavericks. So LeBron tweeted eyeball emojis and crown. emoji. So Perloff, take it away. What does
I get the eyeball emoji. Eyeball emoji. Hey,
I see it.
Kyrie Irving's out there.
Yeah.
He wants a trade request. The crown, I'm a little bit mystified by because he's the crown.
He's the crown.
Right. So why would he put an eyeball like LeBron? I see me. I'm the king. I see myself. Wouldn't he make more sense? He had eyeball emoji and then some symbol that represented Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, like a infinity loop or something.
Yeah. Right, a symbol of some form.
Not the
flat
emoji
earth.
of the world.
A flat earth,
That
a
would be-
map. Why did he eyeball emoji king?
Anyway, it looks like the Lakers are interested.
LeBron, by the way, LeBron's Twitter feed is amazing too. It's a modern Magic Johnson. The amount of things he chooses to comment on.
It really does. Like, it's the gamut.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably more football tweets than basketball tweets in there. But I do take this as saying I want Kyrie Irving. And I think common sense says that he would want Kyrie Irving because to get over the top in the West, they're going to need another weapon like that. And there's not a lot of Kyrie Irvings.
Listen, LeBron loves doing a lot of scoring now because he's trying to pass Kareem, but I think he probably would like a little bit more help in that department. I mean, Kyrie, Anthony Davis, and LeBron,
a lot of floor space there. Kyrie, you have to come way out. Kyrie's added this Steph Curry shot very consistently this year.
Oh, yeah.
He's moving farther
He's
and further back.
He's a 50-40-90 guy. I mean, he's really good.
I think he's actually developed his three-point a little more this year, so that would make life so much easier for LeBron. And that whatever happened in Cleveland when they broke up, that's a long time ago now.
Feels like a long time ago.
Long time.
No.
LeBron wants, and I know we were arguing earlier over how important the scoring record is. He's clearly obsessed with getting another crown. Maybe that's what the crown's about. I see you crown, like I'm going to win another. No.
I mean, that's more like rings.
Crown. I said crown. Yeah, crown is a scoring title.
Yeah, rings is more the thing he's looking for.
But, LeBron is obviously chasing Michael Jordan. He would definitely take another championship, Maggie.
Of course, the ghost of Jordan, right? Although he definitely wants to play with Bronny, too. So I think he's got competing goals there. But anyway, we know that LeBron and Kyrie, I think, that's water under the bridge of what happened in Cleveland. And I think that Kyrie was trying to make his way to L.A. over the summer, and it just didn't materialize. And now the big question, too, is Durant going to be available? Now, it's one thing for LeBron to be, tweeting. It's going to be another for what's the tweet that Durant puts out or what's the comment, because he's been out since January 8th, but he's scheduled to come back, I think Woj said, for the All-Star game. Now, side note on that. You're Kevin Durant, right? I understand you can do whatever you want to do in this league. But you've been out this long with a knee injury, right? And now you're going to come back and play a meaningless All-Star game? Dude, that is so lame to me. Like, save every moment and morsel or everything you have, all the health that's left in your career. Don't blow it on a meaningless All-Star game. Who cares?
Well, if he was healthy and not coming back for this game, would you have a problem with it?
If he was healthy, then play. But it's like you've already been compromised once this season. Your team is fourth in the standings in the Eastern Conference. You're going to, come back just to play an All-Star game and then continue on? Like, what if you have a setback because of the All-Star game? Carmelo Anthony did this once when the All-Star game was in New York, and it was so dumb.
But KD is going to have to play basketball eventually. How do you think you get in basketball shape? By playing in exhibition games.
Yeah, right.
This is just another warm-up process, and you don't have to play any defense in the All-Star game. He wants to just show up, be part of the festivities.
Dude, this is like when Brandon Staley played Mike Williams, the Chargers against the Broncos. This means absolutely nothing. And actually, that game, I guess, went in the standings at least. It meant nothing to the playoff hopes.
Oh, and these NBA regular season games mean so much so that players sit them out all the time.
Here's the thing. Kevin Durant, since he came to Brooklyn, they have won one playoff series. This thing has been a colossal failure.
Oh, yeah.
There's no other way to sugarcoat that. So it's been such a failure, and now you have a team that's at least within striking distance of possibly over the horizon. Maybe you could see possibly a trip to the conference finals, maybe, and then see what happens.
You've seen that the last few years, and it hasn't happened.
I know, but to play this stupid exhibition game when your knee's already compromised, to me, is so selfish.
Well, if Durant doesn't go, when's the next time we're going to see a Brooklyn Net in the All-Star game? He's got to go. It's the last time we'll see the Nets represented for a decade.
Don't you have to have at least one guy from each team?
Is that? I actually
that used to be a rule.
That's
what?
baseball.
That's baseball. Sorry, that's baseball.
It could be basketball.
No,
You're saying
it's
basketball
baseball.
doesn't get one from every team?
No, it's baseball.
Well, at least basketball gets somebody at the skills competition.
Yes. There will always be someone from the skills competition.
I don't know. He's got to play basketball eventually. What's the difference if he plays? This is an easier, softer,
mean anything.
but it's an easier, softer way to play. I don't think it's a huge injury risk to play in the All-Star game. Knocking on wood here for KD.
I don't want to find out because that'd be colossally dumb. Anyway, now does KD get traded though? Because listen, you're going to have much bigger and more robust market. Now, the funny thing about the Kyrie teams that he wants to go to, or that might be interested, Lakers, Suns, Mavs. The Suns was one of the places that Durant wanted to go to.
Yeah.
Is it like a race to see who can get to Phoenix faster?
I do.
We'll be there next week, by the way.
I remember. I was just thinking about this in the break. I actually had a debate. I might have even been on air. Should the Sixers trade Tyrese Maxey for Kevin Durant? Because in the offseason, Tyrese Maxey was the hottest item, the 76ers guard.
He's coming off the bench now. I don't think that's going to work.
Although,
might need to throw a few more things in that trade.
No, I know. I don't know if that was ever going to happen, but at least in my mind, it could have worked before. Now, I'm putting together a package. I mean, obviously, we'll give you Harden in 2 seconds, but the Nets do not want James Harden back. It's gonna be hard.
That ship sailed. When he said New York was a terrible place to live, I think that one officially sailed.
What kind of player or draft pick would somebody have to send to get a Kevin Durant?
I mean, what did Gobert go for? Like an insane amount of picks, remember? So I think that the Gobert trade kind of tilted it in a different, like it kind of blew the market up for everybody in the offseason. So anyway.
Okay, so the Timberwolves get Rudy Gobert. The Jazz got Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly. Beverly was part of that. Leandro Bolmaro, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt. Some of these names must be made up.
No, Walker Kessler's good.
2023 first-round pick, 2025 first-round pick, 2026 pick swap, 27 and 29 first-round picks.
So 3 first-round picks and a pick swap? Excuse me, 4 and a pick swap?
Yeah.
Sweet
well, you could do that for
Mary
Durant.
and Joseph. I mean, that's a lot.
You could easily do that for Durant.
No, that's the starting level for Durant.
No, but
and
Durant's old.
But he's much better than Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, he's much better than
more
Rudy
valuable.
Gobert. Yeah.
How about that for sports analysis? There you go. You're welcome, America. Durant better than Gobert. You can't find that kind of breakdown anywhere else but right here.
Says you.
Who wants to debate me? 855-212-4CBS.
Hey, advice dog. Is Gobert better than KD?
Thanks for the layup. No pun intended.
Gobert's 30. KD's 34. Gobert's he's healthy going to the All-Star game. But of course, KD is way more valuable. And that was a terrible trade. The problem is, KD is going to not want to go to anybody but a contender, and any contender's draft picks are not worth anything. I mean, what's a 25th pick in the NBA draft do for you? Nothing.
What about back to the Warriors? Remember, that was something that...
What's a Warriors pick going to do for them?
Well, what about some of the Warriors players, some of those young guys, Moses Moody and those Kumingas and those guys?
Maybe if Kuminga's in there. But
here's the thing. It's like, if Brooklyn's doing this, you're signaling the full rebuild.
Yeah, which I think makes sense.
Well, I mean, now they're 4th place in the East. Like, here, comes Kyrie. It's like, now you put the kibosh on this.
You're right.
You really could have, submarined this season.
Well, how about this scenario? What if they trade the Lakers and Russell Westbrook is the missing piece to a Nets playoff run? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
You couldn't even make it through the sentence.
I kid. I mean, listen. Russell Westbrook was a beast in the East with the Washington Wizards. They made the first round once.
Remember the play-in tournament?
Oh, is that how they got it?
He went on an epic run to get them into the play-in.
Oh, yeah. It's just the whole thing is so messy.
It's called hustle.
Now, okay, you're the NBA committee. You know how the NFL is scripted?
Yeah, we've learned that, by the way. Thank you, Arian Foster.
Okay, if the NBA was scripted, if they were smart like the NFL and scripted it, you have to send Kyrie to the Lakers. I don't want to see him on the Suns. I don't understand how him and Booker and CP3 work. I don't understand how him and Luka work together. There's only one solution that works to elevate the entire sport, and that is Kyrie to the Lakers.
Yeah. Were you surprised about the Arian Foster, how much that kind of got around?
Yes.
There's 5 million views or more on that video.
It was funny. I mean, it was reaction. I think people like to say, this is what my script would have been.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Brock Purdy came pretty close. If you were trying to like really script an NFL season for something unreal, Mr. Irrelevant getting to the NFC Championship game, I mean.
Well, I think that the logic that kind of ruined it is you're telling me the NFL makes a script and doesn't put the Dallas Cowboys into a championship game for 30 years?
Yeah, for the Eagles.
Yeah, well, the Eagles are okay. They're probably top 10, top 15, most popular.
Well, top 15. I mean, the league's only got 32 teams.
Yeah. I mean, they do big ratings. It's better than, I don't know, it's better than, say, the
Who do you want to offend right
Falcons got in there.
Okay. Atlanta, it turns out.
I got you on that one. You can't disagree.
Can't. Yeah, if the NFL was actually going to make a script, Dallas should have obviously been in.
Oh, they'd be in the Super Bowl every year.
No. This is no. They'll wait till next year in Las Vegas and have Dallas in.
Why?
I don't know. I think people are excited about next year having the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, party town.
I think they need Dallas for Phoenix to sort of spice up Phoenix. That doesn't matter. Nobody. I mean, they're going to get 75 million people watching, and they don't care where it is.
It's so funny because when they always give us the Super Bowl numbers, like, and it's like, what, 100 million people or something watch the Super Bowl? I'm like, but there's still 300 million people in the United States, give or take. So 200 million other people were just like, I'm sorry, what? There's a game on? It's awesome.
I love that Robert Kraft, the Patriots owner, says we really want to expand into Europe and overseas so we can get that number up. Because I think that's the only way that they're going to do it.
Oh, definitely. Why do you think they're playing in Germany?
Yeah. So 300 million here. I mean, imagine if you they've been working so hard. I remember when I was at the NFL, they started a China program to try and get the NFL popular in China.
Yeah, how'd it go?
They've been working on it forever. I haven't seen an NFL game in China.
No, but the NBA is wildly popular in China, so maybe they can follow their model a little bit.
They've tried.
Yeah.
I think it's been hard. I think NFL is a quirky sport. I don't think it's easy for everyone to pick up.
No, and I'm sure like if I was never introduced to the NFL, if it wasn't like part of my life for such a long time, I'd be like,
I'm trying to explain football to my daughter now, and it makes no sense. Even I don't understand. Emma, who's 10.
Yeah.
And
did you watch the Nickelodeon?
No, we didn't watch the Nickelodeon together.
Maybe that would have helped.
There's so much time explaining what a first down is.
You multiple
have
attempts.
4 plays to get a first down, but you want to get into the end zone. Yeah.
You have 4 plays to get 10 yards.
I mean, I know what the perfect answer for this is. The advice duck. How do you teach your child about football effectively?
Okay, I'll put it.
I don't want to know Maggie's answer. I want to know the advice duck's answer.
No, Maggie's got nothing to tell you.
You put that yellow suit on, and the advice is just going to flow like water,
just
off a duck's back.
Just there you go. Just pearls of wisdom. Oh no, that's your segment. Just home runs.
Oh, we need to have dueling wisdom segments.
Oh, pearls of wisdom versus
pearls of wisdom. Dueling, just back and forth.
This is like Schefter versus Rappaport.
Pearls of wisdom versus the waddles of wisdom. No.
No, you.
Jalen Waddle, NFL tie-in.
I don't know. It's a stretch.
Friday.
The advice duck really is not a stretch at all.
The advice duck on a Friday afternoon. Let's go. Advice duck.
Yeah.
Send in your questions.
Send in your questions.
I'll tell you, Maggie gives great advice.
Thank you.
The one problem is also, I mean, we've got Pearls of Wisdom. We're also got to battle up against the Ask the Pros. So we're going to have an Ask the Pros and an advice duck. Now, does the duck count as a pro? Can she, he, it answer an ATP?
I don't know. You might have to ask. Is that O'Reilly? You might have to clear it with them first. I don't want to mess with their mojo.
It's almost as if we didn't think this all the way through.
Wait a minute. No. We thought it through. Us flying by the seat of our pants on a ridiculous bit that may not work?
Never.
That's a different
advice
show.
duck flies by her wings, not the seat of her
Yeah,
pants.
thank you, Sam. 855-212-4227. You're welcome to weigh in. So you can leave in the chat. You can ask a question on Twitter at Maggie Gray, at Andrew Perloff, at Maggie and Pearl. We have an email address. Simple. MaggieandPerloff@gmail.com. You need advice on something, you got to ask the duck. Coming up next, Kay Adams is going to join us. She's got her show Up and Adams. Of course, she was longtime host on Good Morning Football. We'll talk to Kay next. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff right after this.
You're in a 5-minute break. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. And this is so much fun when we get to actually talk to one of our good friends, Kay Adams, the host of the new show Up and Adams. Well, new-ish. Kay, you're here with us on behalf of Smirnoff. We'll get to that in a second, but give it to us. What are the best Super Bowl storylines that you are looking forward to before the game on Sunday?
Well, first of all, I cannot believe this is the first time I'm on the show. I love and adore you both. And the big storyline is I get to see you guys in person. And we get to celebrate, when we got these NFL scripts that were both going to be starting new shows, I think we're probably, both sides were a little like, oh, really? And it worked out awesome. So congrats on the show and the storyline. I mean, am I bad that I love the Kelsey Bowl? I'm obsessed with those two. And I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask you about this. Now, in your career, you've got to spend a lot of time off camera with players, and you kind of get, I'm sure you get a sense of what they're like as real people. Are the Kelseys legit? Are they bona fide, like they come off in their podcast?
Yes. I listened to the first episode of that podcast and thought, man, they're just so different. I've always wanted to see them interact together. I've never had the pleasure of hearing them talk to each other, but I've always been fascinated with this wild man, Jason Kelsey, who I imagine hunts and hikes and goes into some sort of hibernation in the off season. And then Travis, who I see in Hollywood. I'm at Saturday Night Live. Earlier this year, I'm at SNL to see Jack Harlow, and I look over and it's Aaron Judge, and I go, oh, that's crazy. And then in walks in Travis Kelsey, and I'm like, Travis is that guy. Travis just appears, and he's got so much swagger, and he cares about fashion, and they couldn't be opposites more. So I love seeing them together, and I love the storyline. And Donna and Ed can't lose here, and I love everyone involved. But no, they're super genuine. And then the best part was I was asking Travis, I go, why are you, are you here with Jack Harlow, or are you here with Aaron Judge? And he goes, no, it was my bye week. I was in Philadelphia visiting Jason's kids, my nieces, and I saw Jack Harlow was playing, and I drove up by myself.
Amazing. Yeah. Just the life of Travis Kelsey, the life of Kay Adams. Kay, you get to go to SNL. What other pinch me moments have you had over the last couple of years as your career has just skyrocketed?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Has my career skyrocketed? I don't know.
It did because I said it did, Kay.
Yeah, let me think about that.
I mean, you're not a coworker with Andrew Perloff anymore. Technically,
Yes.
when you came into DirecTV to host the Fantasy Zone, that was probably the highlight, I would imagine. Post that.
I mean, honestly, a career highlight was when I had no reason to be allowed to fill in for the Dan Patrick Show, Andrew, and I somehow got to, and nobody look up those tapes because that was really horrendous.
You were great. What are you talking about?
You were awesome when you filled in for DP.
I had no idea what was going on. Literally, no. And it would be me and Chris Mannix, and he did his thing, and I was just happy to be along for the ride. I'm trying to think pinch me moments. I think anytime you get to go to something like the Grammys I got to go to last year, or an Oscars moment, or any of the stuff that I do for People Magazine is really, really fun. But the thing I'm most proud of, I mean, starting your own show is never easy, as you guys can attest to. And it's all about, it's a startup, it's a team. Working with FanDuel, that's definitely new world for them. They want content, and it's a lot of fun. But we have a plan, and we're just getting started.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, how about off-season NFL storylines? Like, where's your obsession there? Are you like really into where is Aaron Rodgers going to play next year, or like Derek Carr's next move? Or I know you're kind of an adopted Bengals fan where the fan base has brought you in, like, how they're going to, pay and keep everybody on the roster. What's your off-season storyline that you love?
It hasn't developed yet. I could not care less where Aaron Rodgers goes.
Is that because you're a Bears fan, Kay?
No, I just am tired. I think I'm exhausted. And I also don't, I don't believe in retirement anymore. So that's something that I hope to be proved right about. Like Gronk, I have him on my show Up and Adams every week, and he's always toying with me. He's always the doors of like retirement. The concept of retirement is done. It's toast. Like it's completely not existent anymore. So even with this Brady thing, I was at the 80 for Brady premiere, and I was around him, and he was really like calm, like almost too calm for like a red carpet vibey moment. But him retiring, I'm like, sure. I don't even want to address it. JJ Watt too. I'm like, nope, I don't believe it. I don't believe any of you. Like, no, just say you're taking a nap for a year. But I think that like, will Tom be able to not answer the phone for 8 GMs that will call him and stay away in August? We'll see.
What about him as a broadcaster? Say he does take a year away. I understand he's not going to really be at the Super Bowl. I have trouble imagining what he's going to be like. Will he be closer to Tony Romo, or will he be a little quieter, more dignified?
Do we want him to be like Tony Romo? What is going on with Tony Romo?
I was having a discussion, Kay, with a friend. We really don't, at least the average fan does not know what Tom Brady's personality is really like. Now, you're up in New England. Are there two different people? What's he going to be like when he eventually does retire?
I think he's one of the sweetest people I've ever been around. And I believe that is so genuine. I wonder how that translates into a booth. Tony Romo also has that quality, that genuine, kind quality. So does Kevin Burkhardt. So does Greg Olsen. So I do think that matters. Chris Collinsworth is similar in that way. I mean, if you're talking about knowledge of the game, there's probably no one better. He's the greatest to ever play. What does he have to do? Does it matter? Aren't we all just going to be endlessly fascinated to hear what he says? But does it matter if he's good? Does it matter if he's bad? And the prevailing question in my head is, are you going to do it? Is it actually going to happen? Is this thing is am I the only one that feels that way? Like, is this actually happening?
I think there's a little question because I think we're all not 100% sold that he's done playing football. I think we earn that skepticism. But the other part is we've never seen him, at least in his public life, be bad at anything.
Yeah.
So if he were to be like not great at this, I think it'd be shocking for us because it's like, you're Tom Brady. You're the golden boy who's been good at everything.
Maggie, have you seen him dance?
No, okay, I haven't.
Maggie,
I'll send the scoop. Oh, down in Brazil, that one video.
Well, there was the Super Bowl, like Rick Ross is on stage. Like when you see Tom like trying to do, DJ Khaled, all I do is win. Like he could use some lessons, is all I'm saying.
Well, he's definitely a middle-aged dad. So, we'll give him a pass on that one. Kay, we love this for you. You work with Smirnoff. You're the cocktail coordinator, and you guys are actually doing a really cool contest for someone who can become the new cocktail coordinator and get flown out to the Super Bowl. This sounds really cool.
Maggie, it was so fun. So the contest is over, but all year we were taking submissions, recipes for drinks, and Smirnoff was looking for somebody not to be the new cocktail coordinator, but the first ever. It's the best job in America. There's this, trip is up for grabs for the next year. They'll be the cocktail coordinator, but they get private airfare. They can take their friends to the Super Bowl. They'll be on Radio Row, and they were looking for somebody who brought all of the game day vibes, the welcoming, the hospitality, somebody with football knowledge, somebody who lives and breathes the NFL, which we love, and somebody who has the playbook of drinks and really had to bring it in that way. It was an intense competition. It was down to 3 finalists. I just got back from Dallas and helping sort of host and judge that. Was not an easy competition, but there is only one cocktail coordinator, and the reveal will be Monday, February 6th on Instagram. So you can follow along with the skills competition. I'm there. Matt Landis is there. He's a professional cocktail maker, and he's so wonderful. And, the stories behind these 3 finalists are awesome, and the recipes are delicious. My personal favorite, Vernon Davis, came up with the Cosmo Catch. We worked together earlier this year before the season started on that. So little OJ, little cranberry juice, little vodka. I don't think it surprises either of you that I enjoy a cocktail from now and then.
Yeah, I mean, that's a better job than an offensive coordinator in some teams. I got to have a cocktail coordinator. So last question for me. So Phoenix, it's going to be about 60, 70. I'm having wardrobe issues, okay? I don't know what to dress for the fall. Am I going full tropical here? What? You're on the West Coast now. What do you think of Phoenix Super Bowl? How's it going to be defined?
I mean, are you picking the Chiefs? Then you could totally go Andy Reid vibes. I could see
like a 3/4 red zip?
Yes, I know. The Hawaiian shirts. I would love to see. I would love to see Andrew Perloff the whole week dressed like Andy Reid in the offseason.
That sounds like a show bet. A show bet that he would have lost. Yeah.
It's weird because Radio Row is going to be cold. You just know
it always is.
It's so stupid. It'll be 30 degrees and I'm going to hate every minute of it. And I'll be there with you guys. So hopefully maybe you guys will pop on my show, which would be fun. But then there's like waste management, right? So you want to go out, you want to watch the golf tourney. What's it going to be like? My tip would be, Andrew, layers. Just layers. A little tank top, something on top of it, and grab your drink of choice Smirnoff. And most importantly to me, drink responsibly. Grab those rideshare services and don't be an idiot.
Hey, if you see me in a tank top, that means I've had a lot of Smirnoff. That is not happening.
I mean,
that's what I want. That's my wish for Super Bowl week in a tank top.
Okay, we'd have to alert all the women in the greater Phoenix area. Andrew Perloff is coming. He's wearing a tank top, so they have a moment to gather themselves, collect themselves. Kay, you're the best. Congrats on all the fun stuff with Smirnoff. Have fun at the Super Bowl. We'll see you on Radio Row. And, we just think the world of you.
I think the world of you guys. So I'll see you guys on Radio Row starting Monday. And that's, of course, when the cocktail coordinator will be revealed on Instagram at Smirnoff. I'm all over their Instagram starting next week. So check it out. And I'll see you guys next week.
See you, Kay. Thank you.
Kay. The way you said it, Kay set you up and then you just took it from there. Closet full.
I am going to be the palest person in the state of Arizona, but it's all good.
That's generally most places we go.
All right. This NFL postseason. Every Westwood One NFL broadcast streams live for free. All on the road to Super Bowl 57. Catch all the action on the Odyssey app, on WestwoodOneSports.com, via Westwood One station streams, or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. All sponsored by AutoZone. Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. I am so excited right now. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube or if you're listening, the Advice Duck will make its debut in the following segment, and I think it's not going to be Maggie. The Advice Duck has a level of wisdom that Maggie could never match in her real life. The second that costume comes on, it is just a level of genius that you are not going to believe. Stay tuned. But first, here's a Sports Break with Rich Ackerman.
Sports Flash.
Well, Kyrie Irving had previously stated a desire to stay in Brooklyn long term, but apparently has had a change of heart, asking to be traded before Thursday's trade deadline, according to several reports. Irving has been terrific all season, averaging 27 points a game, and recently has carried the Nets with Kevin Durant injured. In other news regarding the Nets, an MRI on Ben Simmons' knee came back clean, but he's likely to miss a fourth straight game tomorrow night. The Sixers continue their chase of the East-leading Celtics. They're 3 games back and are in San Antonio. Philly has won 8 of 9, while the Spurs are going in the other direction with losses in 15 of 17. And after tonight, they'll embark on their annual 9-game rodeo road trip. The Celtics are home to host the Suns, while the Wizards go for their 7th straight tonight against the Blazers. Tommy Rees is leaving Notre Dame, reportedly joining Nick Saban's staff as the new offensive coordinator at Alabama. He had served in the same role for the Fighting Irish for the last 3 years, but 30 years of age, and with his experience, he is a rising star in the coaching circles. The 49ers are looking for a new defensive coordinator and will reportedly meet with former Cardinals coach and Panthers interim Steve Wilks. I'm Rich Ackerman.
Coming up later on the Zach Gelb Show, it's a Football Friday. Well, without the football, because no one cares about the Pro Bowl. 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Time to answer our Ask the Pros question of the day, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Today's question comes from Bill in Fort Lauderdale. Are you as sick of the Aaron Rodgers stories as your last guest, Kay Adams, was? Good question. Don't forget, you can submit a question by going to cbssportsradio.com/askthepros or tweeting it at CBS Sports Radio using the hashtag AskThePros. Yes, of course I'm as sick of Aaron Rodgers. It's a wash, rinse, repeat. Every offseason, he takes control of the news cycle, will never let it go. And even though he seems chill right now, it's going to be 5 months of this. And of course we're sick of it.
Speak for yourself. I love this. I think it's awesome. I can't wait to see where he goes. It seems like he might actually get traded this time.
Yeah, you've thought that before, though.
I have thought that before.
He's not going anywhere. It's going to be 6 months of drama and Green Bay and drama.
Here's the thing about Rodgers. At least he's given us this crazy offseason drama, but he does deliver, giving us like weekly things on McAfee's show, or he sometimes says ridiculous stuff. So the fact that he giveth means he can taketh. Like, he gives us so much content. I don't mind going through this charade every year.
Okay, as long as you acknowledge it is a charade.
Yeah, it's a charade.
Here's the question, though. Do you think that Aaron Rodgers likes to be at the top of the news cycle?
Definitely. That's why I don't think he's going to retire this year. He can't even threaten retirement because I really don't think he wants to share a Hall of Fame class with Brady.
I don't think he's anywhere near retirement, but
yeah.
I think,
but he could always threaten.
I think you're right, but I don't know why I'm kind of with Kay, because if he always wants the top of the news cycle, then it kind of loses its luster at some point. This happened with Favre. People were so sick of it by the end that
he's
no one
much
even
more
cared.
Interesting than Favre, though.
Favre was.
No, I mean,
Favre was a singular force in the sports at the time.
No,
yeah,
but his personality is way more interesting than Favre, right?
Yes and no. I mean, Favre was a bit eccentric. I mean, Favre had that good old boy thing.
And some of the stuff was actually kind of dark. Like Rodgers to me is just very.
He's very interesting and weird. But you have to understand, Favre was probably a bigger star in the sport when he was doing this than Rodgers is. Rodgers has to share the limelight with Mahomes and Brady. Favre was it. I mean, he was I guess
Brady was there.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. It was already 2008, but Favre was a big deal. Let's not underestimate.
I remember the 3 straight MVPs, playing in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, and also he's Brett Favre. It's fun to say Brett Favre. I can't take you seriously in this costume. All right, how is this Ask the Duck going to work?
So that was Ask the Pros. So I'm going to distinguish it. So now the duck costume is on, and now it's time for the advice duck. The first ever advice duck. You send in questions, you need advice, and the duck gives you the wisdom.
Not Maggie, the duck.
No, the duck. If you're watching or you'd like to watch, we are right now at youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Click on the link where we are live, and you will see me in the duck costume. Okay, this one comes from...
Wait, is it production or music?
Oh. You know what? Next time. Didn't think that through. What do you think? This is a radio show or something? This one comes from Scott Donnerbauer. Scott Donnerbaugh1 on Twitter says, I need advice from the advice duck. My girlfriend and myself agreed to not do birthday presents this year to save more money for trips. Since her birthday is first, I have to do something still. My fear is that this is a test or a trap. What do I do, duck? Darn it, this is a great question, Scott, and I'm so glad you asked.
Ooh.
First of all, you're on the right track here. Yes, you have to do something. You could swear up and down you're not doing gifts. You can pinky swear. You can make a pact. It doesn't matter. When her birthday comes up, she's going to need to tell her friends what you did, right? So she's going to need a story. So what I would suggest here, minimum, you got to do dinner at her favorite restaurant. That's minimum. And then I would probably say you've got to do one more activity after that. So concert, movies, I don't know where you live in this country, go out on a boat, go ice skating, whatever, wherever you are in this world, you've got to do dinner at her favorite restaurant and one more thing. And then you also need, like, the gift can be small, have to have a card with it.
Well, obviously the card, right? But this is getting expensive. If we're saving money for a trip.
No, you got to cut corners somewhere else.
Wait,
I'm
if
sorry.
Yeah. So basically,
you might have to start donating blood. I don't know what you have to do, but you got to make sure her birthday's got something.
So there's no saving money for the trip.
Well, I mean, concert, you don't have to, blow everything to go see, Taylor Swift or Beyonce or something, but you just got to have dinner at her favorite place, emphasis on her favorite place, not your favorite place, hers, and then something after dinner.
It feels, first of all, what you're describing is more than I do on any of my wife's birthday. This is, I'm going to blow it out.
No, this is girlfriend, not wife.
Girlfriend. Well, you're basically saying, he's saying, how do I get by giving just enough so I can actually save money? And you're describing a birthday, 2 events and a present. That's a lot.
Little present, maybe something like
that's the thing.
Small thing like a necklace or something. You have to spend more than $30 or something on it with a card. Yeah, something small.
Okay. It seems like we were all hoping as men for an easier answer, but you're absolutely 100% right.
Perloff doesn't like the advice duck, I don't think.
No. Okay, can I do a follow-up?
Of course.
For the advice duck. I don't want Maggie.
Yeah. Who's she?
I am about to go away to the Super Bowl for a week.
Oh, yeah. Let me adjust the costume.
No, this is just the beginning. February 14th is Valentine's Day. Yep. And then not long after that, within a 3-week period, is my wife's birthday.
Yeah.
How do I approach these 3 present situations? Because when you're away for a week, I like to buy a present for my wife and the kids.
Okay, so number 1, you got to come back with stuff. You know that.
That's okay.
That's a given. You got to come back from Arizona with stuff that doesn't have a Super Bowl logo on it. I know what you're thinking. Or
good clarification.
Yeah, and the kids' stuff can come from the airport. Your wife, you probably can't do from the airport, but the kids' stuff, I think you can buy in the airport.
Okay.
I think you have to just treat it as if these days are not even close to each other. I'm sorry.
Do you have any shortcuts?
Would you like a shortcut? I mean, if you want to ask the advice duck, what's the shortcut?
It's 3 gift-giving occasions. Yeah. Can I combine that to 2?
The only way you can combine it to 2 is this. If you get a babysitter for the kids and take her out, that can be 2 in 1.
And here's the thing. The Super Bowl is the 12th this year, and Valentine's is 2 days after that.
It's the 14th, yeah.
It's always the 14th, right?
Oh, yeah, right. But it's Tuesday.
You've got a built-in gift. I mean, if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, you've got some sort of built-in gift there.
Why, Sarah's not an Eagles fan.
I got it. Monday night, I will take her out to big dinner to celebrate returning from the Super Bowl. And
her choice. When does she want to go out? Monday, but she might have meetings or something. You've been away for a week. You don't know anything. So have her pick the day. When would you like to go out? We'll get a babysitter or whatever, and we'll go out.
Here's the ultimate gift. Skip the Super Bowl. Hang out with your wife.
Yeah. No. Ultimate gift for who? You think she wants
the advice duck wants to boo you right now.
You think she wants to be around? No way. I think this is is this the latest Super Bowl? You guys noticed February 12th? This is
because
really late.
Because there's an extra game this season.
I think men around the country might have.
No, that was last season too. Sorry.
Might have really lucked out. I think I'm good. I think the first 2 fall under the same umbrella.
Yeah, I think being away and Valentine's Day, I think you're good. But you do still need to bring something back from Arizona.
Yeah. So Monday I give the big Valentine. Honey, I think so much of you. I got your Valentine's Day gift a day early.
Yeah. Here's the gift, and then let me know what night you want to go out, and I'll get the babysitter. And we'll go out.
Right, and if she says to me, you really thought you could get away with this? I'll say, the advice duck told me this.
Take it up with the quacker.
Yeah, take it up with the advice duck.
I'm just surprised the advice duck didn't say just like broken up pieces of bread would be a great gift.
Oh,
I mean,
womp womp womp.
No, but like, isn't is the advice duck giving advice of a duck?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's why this bit makes no sense. I don't know. Sense in the world.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have legs if it was just Maggie speaking as a duck.
As a duck, what do ducks do? They don't
or
do
maybe
a lot.
webbed feet. Would it have webbed feet?
It's getting worse.
Okay.
Sometimes the Onion, that satirical website, used to do stories. Something like an ant comments on world affairs, and it was just like after the whole article. That's what you could do as a duck voice.
Okay, I think I'm going to take off the costume now. Wait,
what do you mean?
Oh my God, Maggie,
we have 5 minutes left of the segment. You can't take off the costume or just the hood.
Just the hood.
So the hood is
the hood is when I turn it.
When the hood goes on, the advice.
I'm back, everyone.
That was really good advice.
Thank you.
I think this is going to be helpful.
I hope that was good for you, Scott, and also for Perloff.
Yeah, that was very good to talk it out. And also, you're like a therapist too, because you weren't just shouting advice at me. You worked with me here.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now.
I'm wearing a costume, so it's a little bit like.
But Scott did not like your advice.
No, Scott's not going to like that. But he already knew. He said, I fear this is a test or a trap. It's not so much a test or a trap. She might not even realize that she doesn't want anything, but she does.
You know, we all want shortcuts. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And I gave you one. You combine Super Bowl and Valentine's.
So you're a woman. Do you have to get something for your husband at Super Bowl week?
I usually bring something for my kid and sometimes for my husband. Depends if I find something he'll actually like.
Not
just like crap.
Not an Eagles or Chiefs gear or something like that.
No, I mean, he's a Bills fan, so I wouldn't do that in the first place. But yeah, I'm not going to bring him something Super Bowl. He's not going to care about that. Okay. Also, I've been to like 10 of these, so everything I could have possibly given him at this point, I've given him. It's like, hey, here's the hat. It's like,
yeah, I mean,
he doesn't care.
You know, I collect as much swag as I can.
I'm going to give you mine.
Yeah, I mean, this is my dad's birthday present next year.
You know what I found the other day, by the way, guys? I have so many T-shirts from last year's Super Bowl. Do you remember you and I did a thing where every day we tried to one-up each other on who could find the better bootleg shirt? I found all of those. They're gross.
I know. They're made of the stiffest material. If you put them on, you immediate rash.
It's just so itchy for a T-shirt. It's like, and it's the iron-on logos and stuff. Blah.
I was leaving the link on Sunday, and there were already people selling Eagles NFC champion T-shirts. $20. I was tempted, but they were black and scratchy looking.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, those black iron-on shirts are always scratchy.
Also, really, you're going to get NFC champions?
Well,
just wait and see if you go to the Super Bowl and see if you win the Super Bowl. I mean,
the guy. When did this guy on the street print them? I'm curious. He must have made a bunch of them. They're probably $1 each.
Yeah, they probably had them 2 weeks ago, or right after you beat the Giants.
But what if the Eagles lost that game? Then he's stuck with a bunch of T-shirts. And
yeah, but the margin is so big if they win that, he's good.
Okay.
It's worth the risk.
Well, you're a former vendor. You know how this works.
And then worst case scenario, he just donates them and writes them off as, on his taxes or sends them to some foreign country. And
man, maybe you got to wear the advice duck costume. That was pretty good advice.
There you go. I mean, listen, we still have the Bengals and the Rams chains from last year. It's too bad neither of them made it back to the Super Bowl.
Do you remember how expensive those were?
It's like $40.
They were $40 each.
Yeah, we're not buying those this year. I'm sure they have Eagles Chiefs ones.
Challenge accepted.
That was so funny because they were on the street. So I thought maybe we could do like a little haggling. So I'm just like, hey, I'll give you they're 2 for $80. I'm like, I'll give you $50. They're like, we're officially licensed from the NFL. They got a credit card machine and everything.
Like, hold on. I got Roger on the other line. Hey, Mr. Goodell.
Yeah. Maggie drives a hard bargain. So, by the way, Phoenix next week. There's a certain person here who's lived in Phoenix and told us many stories about his time in Phoenix. Sandra, you're the unofficial Super Bowl host.
By the way, we need restaurant recommendations like.
Oh, I got one.
3 of my favorite restaurants have all closed down over the past 2 years. Oh. So there goes 3 of them.
Somebody told me about this one restaurant and I looked it up on the internet, and they're booked out for 6 months. It's called Ricochet or something. Do you know this?
Don't know it.
Anyway, we're not getting in. We're gonna have to, maybe the advice duck could get us in.
Maybe if I come with the duck costume, you think that would impress him?
Hold on. I'll see what I could do. I mean, there were a few places in New Orleans that were booked out, and we found reservations.
Oh, right.
Do you remember that? We went to a place that apparently you could never get in. We go there, and there were like 25 tables open. We're like, what the heck?
Although, as we were finishing our meal, the whole place filled up.
That's true. It did fill up.
I think that was a famous place where the Manning family goes.
Yeah. Archie. You just missed him. He was just here with Arch.
Yeah.
You just missed him.
You can do that. You can do that every day for every guest. Oh, you just missed Archie.
Just missed
him.
Just here.
Hey, Advice Duck, how do I find a restaurant with Archie Manning?
Well, we walked into that place. We got incredible treatment. The owner walked us to the table.
Yeah.
Albie Samter pulled some magic string we still don't even understand.
I know. Some color of your credit card
Yeah,
is
get
different
ready
than our
for that
color.
in Phoenix, dude.
It's on.
Bring that black, silver, gold, green card you have with you. Well, this was a lot of fun.
Yes. Sorry. For you on the radio, Maggie's still wearing a yellow duck costume. Why, we're not exactly sure, but the
So-
Advice Duck's in the house.
We'll still take your questions for the Advice Duck. Again, at Maggie and Pearl on Twitter, at Maggie Gray, at Andrew Perloff, Maggie and Perloff at gmail.com. Thank you, Samter, Stu, Kay Adams. You guys in the chat, have a great weekend, you Weedos and your Purple Drinkers. See you Monday from Phoenix.
You're in a 5-minute break.